get it.
Are we live?
Yep.
All right. I'll post the right thumbnail for them.
Announce it in close friends server too. All right. Who the hell? Real thumbnail. I like that you provide context. I just kind of went with it, bro. I just took the L. I didn't care. Yo, what's good, peeps? Yeah, Charlie coming in hot, bro. Look at him.
Oh, gross. Charlie.
All right, you want to we're gonna wait a little bit for people to pop in.
Yeah, I usually just give it a couple minutes until a few people stack up.
Yeah.
What's up, Toshiro? What's up, X-Kyber? Charlie boy.
Is this Noodle stream? This is my stream with Noodles on it.
Yeah. Surfbone's in chat.
Surfbone. Surfbone. All right, everybody attack Surfbone.
Yeah, get him.
Get his ass. Surfbone still stinks. This Kosu stream, boy.
Hey, Noodles, what's your beef with you and Batman? Listen, man, me and Batman's beef, that's old. His name's Vitamin Man to me, but his name's actually Vit Batman. But
Is it really, bro?
Yeah, it's Vit Batman, but it just kind of looked like Vitamin to me, so I always called him Vitamin Man. That's
You're
like
dyslexic,
the origin of
bro.
No, it's an infinitely better name.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's
Vitamin
way
Man.
better than fucking Vib Batman.
Yeah.
What the hell?
We really didn't have beef. Like, the first time he came in the server, man, he just got pooped on in Toby Rama versus Minato or something like that. I can't remember what the exact topic was. And then we had a couple debates after that were heated. And then we made friends after that, after all that other stuff. So yeah, we're cool now.
Yeah. Man, it took you what, like 3 debates?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Didn't you get banned after like the first one or something?
Yeah, I just kept having him come back. It was a saga, the Vitamin Man saga.
Yeah, man. If you still have those debates, do you have them uploaded?
I had to take him down because he just kept cussing so much in them and like just saying horrible shit. So I was just like, yeah, we gotta take these down. Like,
bro got hella lit.
Yeah, it was just I just had to take him down. I couldn't have that up. He was just really mad. And there was a lot of screaming, so the debates weren't exactly enjoyable anyway.
Bro, what? You know the community we're in? Screaming is always enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Bro, you see Surfbone just called me a slur, bro. Just now.
Let's see what he said.
You see that?
Is it time to cancel him yet?
Come on. Yeah, look at him.
Oh my god.
He just called me the N-word with an ice cube.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That's crazy, bro.
Yo, everybody for your boy.
Everybody put Lurfbone, bro. Come on.
Listen, Air Tiger, I would drop a sub on you, but I ain't subbing until I seen this video. We gotta find out if you're worth it or not, you know?
Facts.
I'm just playing Air Tiger. I'll sub to you. I would like to see Noodles versus Jay the Great Kawaii debate. Who the hell is that? Kawaii?
Kawaii? Wait.
Is he trying to say Kawaii? Oh, yeah, he's trying to say Kawaii.
The Great Kawaii debate.
Funnily enough, me and Jay the Great did message the other day about having a debate on stream.
Oh, right on.
All right, Kosu.
Yeah, you think that's it? Yeah, that's enough people. Yeah. So
yeah, we can go and get started.
All right. So the first one is by Air Tiger. I don't know you personally, but you know we're gonna judge it, but we're gonna be nice, maybe if we feel like it. It's gonna be heavy Sasuke versus Sasori. So
yeah, neither of us watched this either.
Yeah, no.
So we're just gonna give our honest, genuine reaction, Air Tiger. If you get pooped on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's mostly gonna be doing most of that. Like I don't even think I have a stance on this topic, right? But I'm gonna just hear what you have to say.
Yeah, we got a couple other videos lined up too after
Yep.
this, so we'll do. You said you wanted to do Gojo versus Itachi at the end, Kosu?
Yeah, I was thinking that because I think I'd at least be able to talk a little bit more on that rather than like something like heavy Sasuke stuff. That's like really specific. Like I think I know a decent bit of Naruto, but that's like specific.
This is the Sasuke that like fought Deidara. If that gives you better context.
That absolutely does actually.
Yeah, it's that Sasuke. So.
Okay. So, wait. Okay. All right, cool. I've made up my mind on it then. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, immediate dislike. Dislike. I'm just kidding.
Hey, yo, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I got my man 6. We're gonna be discussing heavy Sasuke versus Sasori. You want to say anything?
I'm a god.
Factual.
Why you say it like that, bro?
Oh my god,
bro. Why you say it like it was a chore, man? Chill.
The Akatsuki members, aka Sasori. What do you want to say about Sasori first?
I mean, I guess we could just start with the most basic of it all, that Sasori like executed the third Kazekage, who even in the time of Gaara is still considered to be the strongest of all of them. So like over Rasa and Gaara himself.
All right, go ahead and pause that. I already kind of got an issue with this. It's not really a major complaint. It's just that like he did assassinate him, but that's the thing, right? He assassinated him. We don't know if he like off guarded him or like the context of the fight really. Like,
yeah.
It said he like defeated him easily, and like you could I don't know. It's just a weird statement. So I don't really know if that necessarily. He does have the third Kazekage puppet regardless, which has like the third Kazekage's chakra.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't truly scale to him, he has him like in puppet form. So
yeah, he doesn't have to scale to him if he has him, basically.
Yeah. So
I guess like he sort of indirectly if he has him as a puppet, like sort of.
Yeah, I mean he literally just has him with his own chakra and all of his old abilities.
Yeah. And then what was like that other piece of context? Does that? Did it say that he beat him easily? I guess that doesn't really matter.
There's a data book statement that says he beat him easily or something like that, which he might have just like actually just destroyed him, like for all we know. But we just didn't see the fight. It could have been like Rasa versus Orochimaru where he stabbed him in the back, right? Like something like that. So it's just we just don't really know if he scales to him based on that or not. He did say it was like an ego boost though. It was like a boost to his ego. So I feel like if you assassinated someone in the back, that's not really like something to be that proud of.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can continue though.
So like over Rasa and Gaara himself.
Which is mad powerful. You gotta remember, like Gaara took on the One Tailor, so by that sort of logic, you can automatically assert that Sasori should be Biju level, which should be consistent because like it's like blatantly stated in the data book that the Akatsuki are Biju level.
Yeah.
Sasori shouldn't be fodder at all.
Yeah.
Even anything else you want to like add on?
Yeah, because some people try to contend the statement that the Akatsuki.
Wait, was that Discord noise from the video or us?
I don't know. I didn't add anyone.
Okay,
So-
then that's from the. That was just that confused me. I was like, wait, we're in a private call.
I was like, did clothespins showing already?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't invite him, but you didn't invite. Fucking just 6 pops in, you know? Like.
Yeah. Your audio is too muffled and quiet, so when you have someone like 6 there isn't really distracting. Surf Button's giving criticism to Air Tiger. Yeah, get some better audio, Air Tiger. You got to be a little louder.
Yeah, just a tad.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Say which chest.
Biju level by saying and whatnot, something like that, which that doesn't really make sense because their entire job is to like hunt down and kill Jinchuriki.
My mic is way better now. Yeah.
Stronger than Biju individually.
Six using my argument.
Yeah, Sasori is definitely Biju level. He's got crazy hacks like poison, iron, sand, and whatnot.
Are they doing this
the
in a
good thing-
public call?
I'm wondering that too because like that shit is hella distracting to me. Like I'm over
Yeah,
here like paying attention to what they're saying, and then I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, like did they just like tell everyone to go on mute and like they just like did a video?
Yeah. Next time, I would just recommend doing it in maybe a private call so you don't hear like this background noise, or maybe like just disable the notifications or something. If that's
Yeah.
even like a yeah.
Yeah, you can, Charlie. I just can't stop joining. Okay, Charlie, that's you joining.
Damn, you sabotaged them.
Yeah,
about
we
being
did. This
over
was
the-
me starting out. Understandable. It's
Yeah.
understandable. I see you got a better mic too.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was a year ago. Don't worry. We're not criticizing you too hard. But
No.
I will back up just a little because I genuinely lost my train of thought while I was hearing those.
Definitely Biju level. He's got crazy hacks like poison, iron, sand, and whatnot. The good thing about being over the third Kazekage is it gets him like massively over Gaara, because being over the third is over Rasa, and Rasa, while he's weakened, can contend with War Art Gaara. You know, because he's in his Edo state. So Sasori.
I don't know how much I
Sasori
actually
just,
agree with
like,
that, to be honest.
ma-
Gaara during the war got a lot stronger, and there's just a lot of feats that show he's gotten stronger.
Yeah.
Like, especially during like the Ten Tails Madara fight, like you see like Kakashi like riding on his sand next to the truth seeking orbs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he's over there, he's like able to react to like the Madara that was like bodying the Raikage and Tsunade and stuff. He like blocks like multiple of like the full body Susanoo clone strikes. He's got a bunch of crazy feats like that, and even like just Shukaku alone was able to tag Madara. So maybe it's all right, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like he did contend with him, but it was more so like Gaara still won. Like Gaara like outsped him and stuff. So maybe like they're still contentious in power. I don't necessarily have a problem with the power aspect of it, but I definitely think Gaara's a bit faster. But yeah it's fine. They are just kind of scaling into the Biju right now anyway.
Oh yeah. I feel like they've solidified that.
Yeah.
Over early shipping and Gaara, Shukaku, all of those people.
Yeah, and then you still gotta think about like not only does he have like his poison, he still has like all of his puppets. If I'm not mistaken, pretty sure he has over 100 puppets. He can all control those at the same time, which is like something he states that he can take on a whole nation with. So he's definitely.
We actually saw
one of
that in the
low-key
filler.
more powerful characters,
Did we?
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a dude in there that
Definitely
just starts
top.
like bodying a bunch of the puppets. He's just some random ninja, but he's actually pretty
Yeah.
strong. Like
I love
actually...
these like one-off like filler ninja that have like no name that are just crazy powerful. Like
yeah,
they have
he was
like
a samurai. Like
that's insane.
yeah,
Like
he's contending with Mifune. Like
yeah. Yeah, where's he at? Where was he? Why wasn't he reanimated?
he died. Like Sasori killed him.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
pretty
Why
sure.
wasn't he reanimated, bro? That would have been a force, dog.
Yeah, he would have actually been nasty. Filler ninja greater than pain for real.
Hey, yo.
Hey, you know what? That's a possibility.
Listen, don't get him started.
Sasori versus Pain is not bad.
But Sasuke low key better. I can't cap on that. Sasuke just be hitting different. What do you think about
Yes,
Sasuke?
sir. Sasuke's a goat. So even though Sasori's like super
Already
powerful and
biased.
whatnot, you can still say him and Sakura are like somewhat relative. Even if you don't want to say Sakura and Sasori are relative in terms of like combat speed or whatever, Sakura can at least perceive Sasori and react to what he's doing enough to block and like counterattack, right? Whereas with Sasuke, 2 different times she cannot do that. So the first time, I bring this up to Air Tiger before we started, is in part 1. Whenever
Why are we
Sasuke's
talking about
leaving
part
the-
1?
Well, I was about to say this is old. This is old
Yeah.
as hell.
I
they're
didn't know
nowhere
that
near
Sakura
the
fought
level.
Sasori.
Yeah, that Sakura didn't.
Yeah. I already know this argument, by the way, and I don't really like it, but it's like, can you imagine that Sakura fighting Sasori? Like, you think she's not just gonna get murdered? Like,
Yeah.
she is, bro, 100%. Like, she was struggling with those random like getting in the forest of death, like, let alone like someone that stronger than Deidara and like Biju and shit. And like, yeah, she could just fight Shikaku. That's fine.
I mean, okay, I'll back it up because like honestly, I want to know why they would include part 1 stuff anyways for this kind of thing.
To Air Tiger before we started is in part 1, whenever Sasuke is leaving the village, Sakura's trying to stop him. Sasuke blitzes her and knocks her out.
Yeah.
And he just gets behind her and knocks her out.
Yeah.
Then in part 2,
hold on, pause real quick. I'm sorry. D has said that samurai did get reanimated, and then he died in filler again.
No way, really?
Did he really? That's what he said. Like the samurai came back as an Edo in the filler. We got his backstory, and then he died. Why?
No way? For real?
Who
killed him though? That's a monster.
Dude, he was like straight up like fighting Sasori, bro. Like he was contending. Like
yeah, bro. He should have been in like the same fight with like Haku and Zabuza, right? Like he should have been a part of that whole group of fights and. I don't know, man.
Yeah, he should have been there. He should have been there, like next to Hanzo, like fighting with Mifune and shit. Like,
yeah,
double samurai fight. Like,
oh man, that would have been lit, actually.
Yeah, that dude's cool. Continue.
Also, Clothesman's in the chat. I see you, bro.
Whoa!
Whenever you want to hop in, if you still want to, feel free to. Just let me know. All right, I'm gonna continue.
Is over to Naruto. And Sakura is like, when the fuck did he even move? So she didn't even know he moved. She couldn't perceive him.
This is like really early.
And
yeah,
really early. Man.
The thing is, like, the arc immediately after this is the one where Sakura fights. No. This happens right after Sakura fights Sasori. So this is that Sakura.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is that
okay.
Sakura. The thing is, though, is that, like, I wish they showed the panel right before, because, like, when Sakura, this is an argument that Six likes to make himself, even, when Sakura first sees Sasuke, she just becomes, like, awestruck by him. Like, Naruto, too, like, they both just kind of, like, just freeze up and just start staring at him, because they haven't seen him in years, and, you could just maybe argue that, like, it's not necessarily, like, of course she didn't see him, but, like, it's kind of like the Minato dazed argument, right? Like the whole, oh yeah, he got mentally dazed because he was fighting a student or whatever. Like this is the first time that they're like seeing Sasuke again, and they just are completely awestruck just by looking at him. And that's when Sasuke blitzes them too. So I don't really care for the argument that much, but it's not necessarily that bad of an argument either. Also, Sasori was holding back against Sakura. Like he was. I know a lot of people say that he only held back at the very end. But the truth of the matter is, we don't really know. Like the fact that he was holding back at all during the fight, like he let himself die and stuff. Like the reason he ends up holding back and letting himself die is because Chiyo pulls out the mother and father puppets, which was Sasori's mom and dad.
Yep. And
she didn't do it because she thought she could beat him with it. She just knew it would like mentally fuck with him. So it was like mental tactics, like mental warfare to mess with Sasori, and that's why at the end Sasori literally lets himself die despite seeing the attack come at him. And she had already pulled out the puppets at that point and revealed them to Sasori. So we don't really know when Sasori starts like getting mentally destroyed by these puppets and decides to hold back or whatever. You know, it's kind of like ambiguous. So I don't really think Sakura even actually scales to Sasori, especially considering the fact that like he does tag Sakura multiple times. So the only reason she lives is because she prepared an antidote. But yeah,
I think though, like I think you could probably argue some relativity in terms of like speed, right? Like, and like maybe even just like physical strength, like maybe not necessarily like AP or anything, right? But like she's able to like just break the puppets, right?
Yeah,
like,
she reacts to Sasori and dodges like there's a scene where she just starts dodging all of Sasori's bullets and stuff, and Chio's like, I'm not even controlling her, like
So there's a point of relativity there, but I think I can agree to like maybe she doesn't scale to him because like I think it would if Chio wasn't there, she most likely would have died. Like
she would have died. Yeah, she got cut by the poison and stuff, and like she would probably just got bodied by the iron sand, to be honest. So
yeah, because he wasn't going all out the entire time.
Yeah, and we don't really know when he starts holding back. So it's like we know it's like after when Chio releases the mother and father puppet. So plus out on the part where Chio praises her for figuring out how to precog him. Yeah, like Sakura gets faster mid fight. Like she actually like adapts like mid fight and starts like because at first she can't even see what's happening. Like she's actually just having Chio control her body because she was getting bodied. Didn't she do it once she adapted his movement thanks to Chio? Yeah, she adapted mid-fight. Yeah. Sakura would have died to Hiriko puppet or whatever. Yeah, she would have like literally died in the beginning because she actually couldn't react to Sasori back then. She had to adapt like later. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, like there's a couple like mental things going on. I know Six loves the mental amp and nerf, which honestly I've been becoming more sold on lately, just because I keep finding more scans of like mental amps and stuff. Like here's a weird one, Kosu. You know when Shikamaru fought Hidan?
Yeah.
There's a statement that he was Will of Fire Amp because of Asuma dying.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I
like he
can
was
kind of
Will
see
of
that
Fire.
because he like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Shikamaru was on Demon Time that second like round. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like he really was out
Yeah,
to
he
get his
was.
ass.
There's a direct statement of it. I can't remember. I watched it in the anime. I know it's in the anime. I'm pretty sure it's in the manga too. So,
Yeah.
like, he got Will of Fire him. So there are times where people literally are mentally nerfed and mentally amped. I just always have to have a statement for it usually, or some kind of like thing that kind of obviously shows it, right? And it feels like with the Naruto and Sakura thing, when they first come out, they just see Sasuke and their fucking chins fall to the floor and they're like, oh shit, it's Sasuke, like you know. The issue with mental amps is they pretend it's some external force or something the character is capable of doing themselves. Yeah, it's not like that ever. There's always some kind of reason for it. Like when Asuma died, Shikamaru went sicko mode.
Yeah. Like bro was not worried. Like
yeah, he decided, and the way he like shit on Hidan was so funny too. Like he like debunked it, he like denounced his religion and debunked him, and then like said, "You're just gonna be here forever, and you're dumb as hell." And then he like paper bombed him into the ground. Like it was the most perfect death. Like he's like, "Not everyone believes in your religion, dumbass." And then,
bro dunked on him, and his beliefs, bro.
Yeah,
that's just crazy to me.
He beat him physically and philosophically, and then sent him to the Shadow Realm.
Bro had a debate and beat his ass. That's crazy.
he really did, bro.
Yeah.
All right, you can continue if you would.
All right.
All becomes consistent whenever we get the statement from Sakura that Sasuke's rate of maturation, or the way to which he gets stronger, is just much higher than everyone else, to the point where they think he's amplifying his growth rate with drugs. Him and Orochimaru.
What?
So Sasuke
steroids.
could speed blitz Sakura in part
I don't
1.
know. I really don't.
Then he's maturing and getting stronger faster than she can, and she can one-shot Sasori as well as perceive his technique. So Sasuke is
Wait,
both
hold on,
strong.
pause real quick.
Wait.
I gotta show you a scan, Kosu.
Did he say she would one-shot him?
Yeah, I got a scan for you, Kosu.
Yeah.
Let me put this on stream. Let me see if I can find my old Sasori server. One sec.
Air Tiger's like, I don't remember Six saying that. Hey, man.
Six was on demon mode when he said that, bro. But
I don't know about one shot, bro.
Unfortunately, there's a scan that like directly debunks this. So
yeah.
Hold on.
Like if that was the case, bro, like it wouldn't have dragged on for multiple episodes.
I'm looking for it. She did one shot the Hiroko puppet, but I mean that's not his strongest puppet.
Oh no, not at all.
It's his first puppet. It is a strong puppet. It's probably like BG level that she was even able to do that, because I'm not even gonna get into that argument. But yeah, hold on, I'm looking to see if I got the scan saved.
No, vegan. It's Air Tiger's video, but it features Six.
Here you go, Kosu. Oh, well that didn't. Yeah, it worked.
No, I'm gonna open in the browser.
So like she blows him apart, right? and then he just repairs back together.
I remember that scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like she didn't break anything, right? Like he's just like disassembled, right?
Yeah. And here's the next scan. Yeah, there you go. His like core and everything just starts like coming back together.
Yeah. And like all that, like, what is it? There's like rubble and stuff from like the ground and shit, right? But like there's no actual like pieces broken or anything.
No, he literally just comes back. He just comes back later and he's completely fine. Like,
and doesn't he reconnect everything with chakra anyways?
Yeah, his body literally just like, here, hold on. This is the data book statement about it too. It says, even if he is broken apart, his body is indestructible. This is the power that Sasori has pursued. Man. And it like shows Sakura, like him coming back together.
Yeah. I don't know about one-shotting Sasori. That's
I mean, she literally failed.
Like, yeah.
It even says like he's indestructible compared to her. Like so.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's like the first take so far that I'm like, nah.
yeah, that one's just wrong.
But it's okay, Air Tiger, you didn't say that.
Yeah. That's just a 6L.
Yeah.
Well, you did post it on your channel, so that's a minor Air Tiger L.
Although he said up here he don't remember him saying that, so you know, maybe like he went to like go grab a drink or some shit while the 6 was just on some shit, right? Like I don't know.
What's up, Animiato?
As well as perceived his technique. So Sasuke is both stronger and faster than Sasori.
Yeah, another thing you
by
gotta
a
think about
significant degree.
it's like that was like a base Sasuke without any.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna rewind a little bit.
Yeah, rewind a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't hear his reason.
And she can one-shot Sasori.
No.
As well as perceived his technique. So Sasuke is both stronger and faster than Sasori.
Did he give like a full in-depth explanation as to why like how much more like how much higher he scales above Sakura, or did he just give like that one instance that he like blitzed both of them?
He doesn't even damage her, does he? Like I don't even understand where he's getting the like they scaled Sasori above the Biju.
Yeah.
Right? But they didn't really say anything about Sasuke.
No, they didn't. And he never actually like established a difference in strength. He just said, "Oh yeah, he blitzed her," right? Which like okay, like and then you also established like another way of interpreting that like specific scene, right? Where he like kind of like puts his arm over Naruto, right? And she's like, "When did he?" Right?
Yeah.
So it's like but like at no point between that and now did he mention a difference in strength. So he's just saying like, oh yeah,
I can get the speed argument. Like I understand like there is a pretty decent argument for Sasuke being faster at this point, just but like I don't know about the power or why Sasuke would be able to stop Sasori. So
yeah there just hasn't been like a direct correlation. You just kind of said a few things about Sakura and then just said, well, Sasuke's above her. And that's kind of it so far.
He said, Air Tiger said, just hoping I don't say anything just dumb. Did you not know what you said in this video, man?
It was a year ago. I don't know. He might be different now.
Yeah.
But, you know.
He said, I'm getting nervous.
It's all right, bro. So far, we've only been talking about 6.
Yeah. 6 just be saying, well, Sakura can one shot. Like, no, the fuck she can't.
Yeah. I'm gonna
maybe Hirako, but that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
And getting stronger faster than she can, and she can one shot Sasori. As well as perceive his technique. So Sasuke is both stronger and faster than Sasori.
Yeah, another thing you
by
gotta
a
think about
significant degree.
It's like that was like a base Sasuke without any of like his so-called amps, not his Shidori amp, not his amp from Course Mark 2, which is stated to be a 10 times multiplier.
True.
This was a complete base, and she blatantly cannot perceive his combat capabilities. Therefore,
but she might be mentally nerfed too, that's all I'm saying.
He really just be blitz.
Maybe. I think it's a better argument to say that Sakura's holding back.
Sakura. Yeah. And like 6 said before, Sakura couldn't even perceive him, yet Sakura can perceive Sasori. So we have this clear implication that Sasuke should be very much faster than Sasori is. And as we know, um, Sakura is strong enough to basically one-tap any of Sasori's puppets, including himself.
I thought you said you didn't remember.
What happened there, Tiger?
I thought you said you didn't remember him saying that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, I'm just
Tiger.
kidding. I'm just giving you shit.
We're just gonna give you one of these. That's it. Peep chat, boys.
Yeah,
Just
one of those. Just one of those.
Yeah,
just
first one.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
and you know, it's like half your fault, right? It's half Six's fault too.
We'll say you were influenced by Six.
Yeah, you got mind hacked. Like,
yeah, you got YouTuber mind hacks. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah, you got mental nerfed by him being there. It's.
You know, I really want to see what the fuck that samurai did in the filler, man. I gotta go back and look at that shit.
Yeah, for real, bro. It's like, fuck the video, bro. We gotta go check that real quick.
What was the samurai doing, man? Does he body Heavy Sasuke? It's possible.
Man, yeah, Heavy Sasuke versus No Name Samurai, bro. That's your next video.
Yeah, from the land of clay or wherever the hell they were.
Yeah. Oh man, that'll be a good fight.
Yeah. He was the strongest samurai in their village. Everyone else got bodied.
Yeah.
The narrative that clearly Sasuke is just blatantly stronger. Yeah, and plus we have all the hacks like the Shidori stream, Kirin, which would probably be my favorite. I think we wouldn't mind seeing Kirin just one shot.
Bring out Kirin, man. Yeah, he's got to set that up.
You know, in this circumstance, we clearly can tell that Heavy Sasuke is low-key underrated.
All right, pause real quick. So Kirin, like the way Sasuke uses it, for one, yeah, I agree. Kirin would definitely 100% work on Sasori. It would actually obliterate him.
Yeah, you would have no defense against it.
Yeah, the only issue I have with that is just that he has to be outside. The reason, when he does it, and it also completely drains him of chakra too. So there's a time frame where he might get bodied. Okay.
Yeah.
So, once he uses Kirin, it's over for him. What he has to do is basically he sends out all these giant fire Dragon Ball jutsus or whatever that all go through the roof of the Itachi's hideout or whatever, the Uchiha hideout, and he does it. He intentionally misses Itachi, or he shoots it at him, but the intention wasn't actually to hit him. It was just to blow through the roof so the heat could go into the atmosphere and start creating a current for the storm to form. Basically, that way he could generate natural lightning. So the issue I have is basically he's gonna have to not get touched a single time by the Iron Sand, because the Iron Sand is infused with poison that will immediately paralyze him.
Yeah.
And by the time he used Kirin, once he cast those fireballs, he was out of chakra. He had no chakra left. It's directly stated. So if he has no chakra in that moment, he's got to cast Kirin before Sasori sends out an Iron Sand volley or giant Iron Sand spikes and cuts him like he did Sakura, right?
Yeah.
So it's still dangerous for him to even use Kirin.
But I still think in a situation where if we take it in a standard versus battle for both of the characters, if we take it within the context of Sasuke being faster, he would be able to create a lot more opportunities because of that, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, right? He's also way more tactical than Sakura is. He's a fucking genius.
And he has the Sharingan, so he'd probably be able to read Sasori's movements better.
Right. So he's got those advantages already, right? I think it would actually be pretty likely that he'd be able to create a scenario where he could use Kirin on him.
Especially if he uses it towards the beginning of the fight, because by the time he ran out of chakra, that was the very end of the Itachi fight.
Very end, yeah. And but also keep in mind, fighting Itachi's way different than fighting fucking Sasori. You got two geniuses fighting each other. It's gonna and Sasuke was able to set up Kirin fighting against someone who's arguably the smartest motherfucker in the show, right?
Yeah,
kind of if he could set it up during that, I feel the probability of him being able to do so against Sasori is actually pretty high.
Yeah, I think he potentially could. The only thing with Itachi is that he was holding back against Sasuke. Like his entire intention with that,
Oh yeah,
like during the fight, he wanted Sasuke to kill him,
Yeah.
so he could take his eyes and get them on Gekyo and stuff like that. Right? Like that was his plan.
for sure.
He wanted Sasuke. That's why he told Sasuke to get them on Gekyo first. That way, when he came to fight him, he would already have the Mangekyo. And how you get the eternal Mangekyo is you take your brother's eyes or a close relative's eyes and you swap them out, right? And then you have the eternal Mangekyo. So his intention was, he said, fight me when you have these eyes. And that way, he would have the Mangekyo, they would fight, he would bring him to near death or whatever, and then he would kill him and he would get his eyes and have the eternal Mangekyo, which would make him way stronger, right? So Itachi had already plotted everything out. Oh shit, Jordan, my Jiraiya video's done. Let's go.
Oh shit, yo,
let's go.
You better upload it after this.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll probably have to set some stuff up after the stream, but the Jiraiya video is finished.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that, Jordan.
Y'all better check that out.
Yeah. Hold on. To be fair, Sasuke was going to use Kirin on Team 7 at their meeting. I doubt he was just going to use up all his chakra there. He was going to use Kirin on Team 7? Like, when did this happen, man? I don't remember this.
I don't remember him saying that or implying that.
What meeting was it, like when he met Kakashi and Naruto after fighting Danzo, or is it like before that when like he blitzed Sakura and Naruto? Kirin was set up due to the location of Itachi's flame ability. True.
Oh, you know what? It might have been when he like put his arm around Naruto, right? Like before then, I think I remember him raising his hand. Yeah, there was like a panel of him raising his hand, which I think that was like the implication. I don't actually know what happened after that though, but yeah, I think that's
maybe
where he's
then,
getting
yeah.
at.
Yeah, maybe. Well, like I said though, he could use it in the beginning of the fight. Like I'm not gonna say he wouldn't do that necessarily in character. That's why I brought it up. But yeah. Like I said though, this kind of comes down to speed because I do think Kirin would work. And I think there's a pretty solid argument to say Sasori's faster if you argue that he was holding back against Sakura and Chio, which I do. And if you argue that Sasori scales to Gaara, because Gaara's Sand was able to tag Deidara, which Deidara was keeping up with Heavy Sasuke, if you remember. Curse Mark II Sasuke at that. Gaara also was able to intercept the 4th Raikage against Kage Summit Sasuke when he was like doing the leg drop on him. And Gaara has some crazy feats that I don't think really scale to Sasori because this is, you know.
That's like way later. Like I think everybody gets buffed in the war arc.
Yeah, and also Nine Tails Naruto is implied. Like Kakashi tells Naruto if he rushes at Sasori, like it's when Naruto first like breaks into the hideout. He has like the Nine Tails chakra, and Naruto about runs at him, and Kakashi stops him. He says, "If you run at him, you're gonna die." So you can maybe even argue that Sasori would have killed Nine Tails Naruto right there. So yeah, there's some pretty good speed feats for Sasori, so you could probably put them in relative tiers, especially because Sasuke also scales above Deidara anyway in speed. So I'd say they're probably relative, but Sasuke's a bit faster because he has, or at least in reaction speed because of the Sharingan. But yeah, I think it literally just comes down to who's gonna hit who first.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier for like Sasori to send out like all his Iron Sand volley, but like maybe Sasuke could do some shit where he like summons Manda to block it or something like that, like he did before.
Which
or
he's willing to sacrifice Manda.
Yeah, exactly. Only thing we know about Hydra Aura is him being above the. Why are we talking about Hydra Aura? He ain't shit in this video. But yeah, let's finish this off.
Yeah.
During this circumstance, we can clearly say that even this early in the series, this would be the beginning of Shippuden. He'd be incredibly easily Bijou level. What's it called?
What did he say to put him at Bijou level?
Was stated by beginning of Shippuden. He'd be incredibly easily Bijou level.
You ain't say shit there, Tiger.
Did he say anything? I know he was saying stuff about Sasori at the beginning. Like that was basically like the first half was like
maybe they just forgot to scale Sasuke's power.
I mean, you could make the correlation, right? Like if you wanted to, probably, but like I don't like that. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Like, let the old me talk. Okay.
Okay.
What's it called? Like even Sasori was stated by Kismet to be one of the strongest. I mean, what's it called? Dedo was stated to be one of the strongest, and Dedo even believed that Sasori was stronger than him. And now you have this clarification that heavy Sasuke should even scale both Sasori in this circumstance. So
I think they're
Sasuke's
just literally
mad
using
underrated
Sakura
in
being
terms
able
of
to
speed
one
and
shot.
power,
Yeah.
and plus,
That's what it seems like it, because like at least that's where is coming from, because he's on this idea that she's able to one shot him, which just doesn't happen, right? Like I don't. So. And plus, like, there's a consistency for like evidence to support that, like, Sasori's just like above that, right? Like, I think the idea of him holding back the like most of the time against Sakura is probably just more arguable. Plus, Chio was there, you know what I mean? I think if Sakura was by herself, she would have just died. Like, and plus that poison's no joke. Like, Chio's literally the only one that can find an antidote for it.
Yeah, if Sasuke gets hit by this poison, I don't think he's living. Like, I think he actually just loses the fight.
Yeah.
So, and especially with, like, there is an interesting statement that I saw, which I'm pretty sure it kind of got debunked by Sakura being able to adapt to him. But Chio basically says something along the lines of, the only way you can react to a puppet master is if you've had years of experience with puppets, because basically they have so many hidden traps and unexpected things that come out of basically have so many like hidden traps and stuff they can catch you off guard, that you're just not going to be able to react unless you know the puppets. And like this is evident when like Sasori like actually just like gives Konkuro a noogie, bro. Like he just like he's like, he countered every single one of my abilities, and he's like, well, of course I countered them. I built those puppets. Like, like he's like, I already knew everything about them. So, but like I said, Sasuke does have the Sharingan, and if Sakura can adapt to it, I doubt we would struggle to think that Sasuke could adapt to it too. Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing he's going to struggle with are just those really big AoE jutsus that just cover a lot of area.
Yeah.
So,
especially if he has like what, the third Kazekage, like that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, the third Kazekage with the Iron Sand specifically is what I'm referring to. I'll show you the panel that I'm talking about. Like, what would you think if this ability came out? Because I think we've kind of established they're kind of similar in speed scaling. Like, you can argue Sasori might be above. You can argue that Sasuke might be above.
They should at least, at bare minimum, be relative to each other.
Yeah, hold on. I'll see if I can find this. Like, here's one of them. This one, I think he'd be able to dodge easier. Just from having the Sharingan. Hold on, let me grab the other panel. So there's the Iron Sand bullet volley that he just sends out like a wave of bullets at somebody with infused poison Iron Sand. Not only like with the AP one-shot Sasuke, because it's stronger than Biju.
Yeah.
It also the poison, literally. Like, so he's got to worry about just not getting hit with them at all, basically. And then, hold on, I'll grab the other one. I'm trying to look for it. It evades me. It's a scan where it, like, summons the Iron Sand spikes. This one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, he literally just, like, covers the whole battlefield.
Now that would be a fucking issue. The other one, like this one, I could probably see him using some, like, fire jutsu or, like, Amaterasu to, like, kind of negate them or whatever.
He doesn't have Amaterasu yet. This is heavy Sasuke.
Oh, shit. Mind me then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but he does have, like, some crazy, like, fire jutsus that are, like, that cover a lot of ground. So, like, you could probably say that he might be able to use that, and like, although if they're like relative in speed though, that might be tough.
Also, I think these might be stronger than his fire style, but he might be able to fly away. And I'm pretty sure like the way they get out of this, they literally dodge it. Yeah. Like Chio dodges it. So if Chio can dodge it, like Sakura might be able to dodge it. Hold on one second. I'm getting
Yeah.
a phone call. I'll be right back. You can continue watching the video if you want. That's up to you. I'll be right back though.
I'll wait for you. You're good. Oh, this isn't about a debate, Colin. This is like we're just reacting to some videos and giving our input. That shit wouldn't hurt Bijou. Yeah. Yeah, I forget Heavy Sasuke is like the one before him getting the Mangekyo. Or no, he still has the Mangekyo. He just doesn't have Amaterasu, right? I'm pretty sure. Because I think he gets that after he gets the internal. Like Itachi's eyes. I think. Kosu, you like One Punch Man? Yeah, I like One Punch Man. I think One Punch Man's dope as hell. I'm definitely not just a Naruto guy. Like, a majority of my stuff is, like, Fire Force related. Kosu, why are you so cute? Why are you so cute, bro? Talking about me. What about you?
It was just my goober friend that was wanting to hang out later.
All right, on.
Yeah, I told him, get the hell off. I don't want to talk to you. I'm streaming right now.
Yeah.
My fans want to see me. Actually, Kosu's fans want to see me.
Damn straight. Prioritize. Yeah. You know what? Block him for the intrusion.
Yeah, you know what? Get out of here, punk.
think I'm your friend? You want to hang out? What?
What's wrong with you? Hell yeah, for real. And that same dater conceded to Sasori. He did concede, bro.
Yeah.
My thing is that Datara had heavy Sasuke almost losing, and that same Datara conceded to Sasori. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Sasuke was pretty relative to Datara, but above. And it's kind of like the same thing with Sasori, right? Like, they're both above Datara. And that's the thing, right? The only thing is, I think Sasori has a little bit better scaling just from the fact that he scales the Gaara. Which is hard to argue for. But again, like, then Sasuke has the scaling above Sakura. But again, like, you can argue that Sakura might have not been scaling to full power Sasori because he was holding back. So it's like, I'm kind of favoring Sasori, but...
Was there any point that, like, Sasori was struggling against them?
Struggling against Chiyo and Sakura?
Yeah. Like
Chiyo.
Visibly struggling, right? Like, obviously, he was feeling some type of way because of the shit that she was saying, or, like, Chiyo even just being there. But, like, physically speaking, like, was there any kind of, like, struggle?
Chiyo definitely, like, pulled some shit on him in the beginning. Like, when he first summons the third Kazekage puppet, like, basically, like, Sasori, like, almost blitzes Sakura. Like, gets real close to blitzing. And like, Chiyo at the last second, like, grabs the tail that was left over from the Hiriko puppet and blocks the third Kazekage's blade with it. So she can react to, like, a blitzing Sasori. And I don't think she used the mother and father puppet at that point. And Sasori at that point was saying, I'm going to kill you. So I don't really think he was holding back. So you can maybe argue Chiyo scales. But again, it's still like, he did kind of still shit on them in the long run. So I don't know.
Well, see, and that's what I'm worried about, right? Is like, if the most impressive stuff kind of scales to Chiyo and not Sakura, like, why are we even including Sakura as a factor?
Yeah, and also the fact that, like, Sakura doesn't start scaling to Sasori until he's potentially holding back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so...
Which, like, there would be a reason as to why he's holding back, right? You know? Like...
Yeah.
If he really considered Sakura a threat, right? Like, he would have been trying a lot harder.
Yeah. She pulled out the legendary puppets. Yeah, she did pull out the 10 puppets. Here's a good statement. I think you'll find this one interesting. There was a statement during the fight when Chiyo summons her 10 puppets jutsu. For some reason, she made a promise that she would never use that jutsu again. And I don't know why, but it was like her 10 puppet jutsu. It's her legendary, like, most best jutsu. And Sasori looks at it and he's like, oh, this is impressive. They say a puppet master's skill is determined by how many puppets they can control. Yeah. Well, here's my jutsu, and he summons 100 puppets. So he's like, I can manipulate 100 puppets, whereas you only can do 10. So he kind of just like flexes on her ass, like I'm a fucking beast. You suck, Chio.
Yeah.
But Chio does body a lot of those puppets because Sasori's splitting his chakra up and splitting them up into so many.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I still think Sasori is above Chio and Sakura, even at the end of the fight and in the middle of the fight and towards the beginning of the fight. Like he was doing a lot of stuff that made Chio like feel hopeless. Like she almost felt like there was no way of winning. And she told Sakura to leave because she felt like if she stayed, she was gonna die, basically. Yeah. So even Chio, even though she was able to react here or there, like even she felt helpless. It wasn't until Sakura started pulling shit out the hat and they like started mental warfare with them and stuff that they started winning. You know, they started coming back. Yep. So I think Sasori's above both of them, but I think Chio's a little bit relative.
Yeah.
Kind of thought it was because what are you guys talking about? Monzamon were really good puppets, and is that what it's called? The 10 puppets? Yeah. Okay, we can continue if you want.
Yeah.
Talks about hacks. It's basically unstoppable at the beginning of the series, and he clearly would just one tap or just destroy Sasori. You have anything to say on that, Six?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking of the data book scan from the third data book that says Sasori's body is indestructible. This can mean basically just one thing, since he actually died, that he can just keep putting his body back together. But that only works if you don't, fuck up his core. The thing about Sasuke is you got the Sharingan. The Sharingan can access chakra and chakra amounts. So Sasuke would be able to see that Sasori has this chakra core, and then since he's, speed blitz and one shot levels over him, just speed blitz and one shot the core.
So from what I'm gathering, like it's completely contingent on the idea that Sakura is able to one-shot him, right? Like that's
which she wasn't able to do.
Yeah. So I think once you take that factor out, it becomes a way closer fight, right?
Yeah.
While I do agree that with the Sharingan, he definitely should be able to do those things. I don't think
he would be able to see the chakra and the core and stuff, and he would deduce that that's the weakness.
But he would have to plan around it. It wouldn't be like as simple as just blitzing and hitting it, right? Like he would absolutely have to plan around it.
Yeah, it's not as simple. Getting close to Sasori is the hard part, right? Because he's got 100 puppets between him. He's got the third Kazekage puppet in there, and then his own puppet is super durable. Like it tanked a shot. Like the puppet material that his main body is made out of just straight up tanked a shot from Sakura.
Yeah.
So it's like, and presumably the core is made out of the same thing. I wouldn't think it would be different. It's darker, but like what material? Like you think he would make the core material weaker? Like I don't know. Like I don't think he would, because then it's just like it's kind of like a Death Star situation, right? Like, oh yeah, we got a hole in our ship that if you shoot in it, it blows up the whole thing. Like
there's just like no reason for him to do that. Like if anything, there's all the more reason for him to make it more durable than his actual puppet body. Right.
Would Heavy Sasuke without Kirin even be able to get past Hiriko? Because he doesn't even leave Hiriko. You know what I mean? At first. Like, maybe the Chidori would. You could argue the Chidori might be able to pierce it. I wouldn't be so against that. But, like, Sasuke's Chidori doesn't even get good feats until the B fight, which is his first major L of Shippuden, by the way.
Huge L, not even close.
Yeah, I showed my brother that. Me and my brother just finished that fight the other day, and he loved B because of his entrance. It was just so funny. And he was like, "Man, Sasuke got shit on." I'm like, "Yeah,
bro,
he did."
He got fucking dunked on while homeboy was
died
rapping,
twice.
Bro.
He died twice during that fight. They had to heal him twice.
Bro, he wrecked his shit, man.
And then they thought they captured him, and when actually, like, it was just B using them as a scapegoat to run away from the village. I'm like, hey, he just wanted to leave because the Raikage kept him there his whole life, and he's like, I want to get out of here and go see this other dude.
Bro, he was like, they were like equivalent to gnats, bro. Like they were just an inconvenience to him.
Yeah, no, in version 1, he bodied them so many times, like it was just horrible. And Basie bodied him. Did you show him Sasori splitting that random cloud in the anime? Man, it's loot. I went back. I watched it again, and it's just so weird. Like, let me see if I can. If someone could link me that in the Discord, I'll show Kosu.
He splits a cloud.
There's like this gun he has on his main puppet, and it just like it's like a water gun, bro. It's kind of like a pressure washer, bro. And it like cuts through some rocks, and it goes in the air, and it just like slices through a cloud and just completely makes it dissipate.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's only anime, but it's funny as hell. B was perception blitzing, literally. Yeah, he was. There's only one moment in the fight where Sasuke reacts to him, and it was because it was a linear attack.
Yeah.
And you like aim dodged it. Let's finish this video off though. That way we can get to the next one.
Yeah.
Unless you want to skip the next one, you just want to go straight to Gojo versus Itachi.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
If we have some time, maybe we could touch on it. But like, yeah, that's like the longest one, and it's just like, because like there's gonna be a lot to talk about with this one, anyways. And like, I definitely want to get to this one. Like that's definitely really interesting.
Yeah.
So, and
We'll
look at the real winner too, right? Like I definitely want to hear that.
Time to bust out some Itachi arguments.
If you want to say Sasori starts in Hiriko, Sasuke would just smash it. He's stronger than Sakura.
That's
so
fine.
Sasori's really just at a super disadvantage. The only thing
with Hiriko,
I could see someone.
Yeah, like I said, like Sasuke Shidori doesn't like it's one of his strongest jutsu, but it doesn't even get feats until later.
Yeah, that's true.
Its best feat in early on in Shippuden is when he like hits Orochimaru's forearm with his Chidori blade, which isn't the strongest version of a Chidori. Like the regular Chidori is the strongest variant of it. The Chidori blade's only a B class, whereas the Chidori is S rank or A rank, something like that. But it doesn't even like immediately penetrate like actual deathbed Orochimaru. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like it just if the argument I usually use for Hiriko is that like even Deidara doesn't know what's under Hiriko. Like, even Deidara doesn't know.
Yeah.
And they thought he was strong enough to beat a Biju just in Hiriko. Like, he never left the Hiriko puppet. He always stayed inside of it. And they already thought he was Biju level, and he got inducted into the Akatsuki or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just...
And I think my biggest problem, too, is that, like, the video is gearing towards this idea that Sasuke is just physically much more stronger than Sakura, but there has yet to be a basis for it, right? Like you've already like, you've already mentioned how like he might be faster and stuff, which like fine, whatever, I guess, right? But there's just been no basis for strength, right? And I think the point of Sakura's strength, like in the training with like Tsunade, is that like that's like her niche, is that she's just physically strong as hell, right? Like I don't even think outside of some of the jutsu that like Naruto has that he's physically stronger than like Sakura, right? Because she's like actually breaking the ground, she's breaking boulders, like she's doing like so much more like physically. So like it's hard to say like something that is within like Sasuke's arsenal is going to be like comparable to that when there isn't feats to support it, right?
Yeah.
And they're not even providing necessarily a reasoning for it either, right? Like I'd be okay if they at least establish some kind of reasoning, but like there hasn't been said, like nothing's been said about it. They kind of just lump it in like, okay, yeah, like he's stronger, right? Which I don't know if they're basing that off of the fact that he's faster, right? Like if he's faster, then he must be stronger, which obviously would just be wrong. But that's my confusion with the whole thing. That's like the only part, or not the only part, but like that's one of the biggest parts I can't agree with in the video.
Yeah, and another thing is, like, even if he gets past Hiriko, like, what if, like, Sasori blocks with his Iron Sand? Because his Iron Sand, again, tanked Sakura's punch completely. Like, she couldn't damage the Iron Sand at all. Yeah. But also, it's stated that the reason the third Kazekage was feared as the most powerful Kazekage was because of its Iron Sand. And it's also stated that the Iron Sand was the most feared weapon in Sand Village history, which includes Shikaku.
And honestly, like, there are feats later on when Gaara goes against that same sand, right? And, like, that's, like, a faster, stronger Gaara, right?
Yeah. He goes against the gold sand, but the gold sand, even then, overpowers Gaara's sand a little bit, but Gaara's sand's faster and finesses it. But the thing is, the third Kazekage sand was stated stronger than the gold sand. It's stated to be the dead.
That's right. He faced off with his dad later. Mind me, it was the gold sand. Yeah, but like the Iron Sand stronger than the gold sand. Like that was stated.
It's stated to be the reason he was feared as the strongest Kazekage, and it stated that it was the strongest weapon in Sand Village history.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's like it's stronger than the gold sand, it's stronger than Gaara sand at the time, and it's stronger than what was it, Shikaku. So it's like that thing is durable as fuck.
Yeah, like that's like alone. There's an argument to say like later on Gaara wouldn't have been or would have struggled severely with that, right?
Yeah,
And
I think he would probably blitz that Sasori at that point, but like power wise, like Sasori is still stronger than him.
For sure.
Yeah.
But,
So
yeah,
Sasori's AP scaling is actually pretty good. Like
yeah.
durability.
And like that, like you were mentioning with the things that you posted, right? Like those iron sand spikes. Like unless he uses like Manda to like escape, like I don't really see how Sasuke can escape something like that, right? Or
Even then, it would
like
probably go through Manda, bro. Like Manda's not Biju level. Like, he's like Gamabunta level. So it's like Gamabunta is kind of relative to Shikaku a little bit, but he's still weaker than him. And then the Iron Sand is stronger than the Gold Sand, and the Gold Sand is what Rasa used to use to beat down Shikaku with.
Yeah.
So it's like there's quite a bit of a scaling chain above like that. Like it's pretty hard for Sasuke at this point in the series to be strong enough to get through that Iron Sand. You literally have to argue speed, and you have to argue Kirin would work 100%. I can't really describe why because that's going to be explained in the Itachi video.
Yeah.
Kirin would 100% body. I'll mention this. It has to do with the fact that it's natural lightning. If you guys can put together the argument from there, and there's some statements during the fight that are pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things. Secondly, Kirin would 100% body. All right, and it's just an issue of speed, right? Also, Genjutsu might work. It might work. But kind of a speed thing, right? Like Sasuke ain't that good at Genjutsu. Like even Danzo was kind of able to avoid like Taka Sasuke's or Kage Summit Sasuke's Genjutsu for a long time and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just and he knows, and like Sasori knows about Itachi, obviously, so he won't look him in the eyes.
Yeah, and like because the argument for speed is so like contentious, right? It's harder to argue that he'd be able to plan for something like Kirin like now, right? In that kind of situation, especially with those like area of effect jutsu that Kakuzu has, right? Because it's going to be a lot more likely, like you said earlier, for him to at least get like a cut on the arm at the very least, right?
Yeah,
and
he can't get nicked
poisoned.
at all. Like, he can't get even nicked, because then he gets paralyzed.
Yeah, there's like a higher probability of him getting cut and poisoned than him being able to plan out Kirin, which, like, is arguably his best thing, right? Like, it's...
yeah, it is. It's his best AP ability at this point in the series. Like, his Chidori doesn't get feats until he gets the Mangekyo and he fights Killer Bee.
Yeah.
Like, that's when his Chidori starts getting feats. Because he cuts through the Eight Tails tail or whatever, and at that point, like then then it's pretty fucking arguable that that was his Chidori blade, not even his regular Chidori. So if he uses his regular Chidori, it's definitely on par with the Iron Sand, like at least bare minimum. So you can maybe argue it then, but like at this point, Sasuke is kind of outgunned. Like as offensively, he's gonna struggle. Now Genjutsu might work, like I said, but I think Sasori is going to be smart enough not to look into his eyes just from the fact that he knows about Itachi, right?
Yeah.
So,
and even by like indirectly, he should know a bit about Sasuke too, right? Like just even through Itachi. So like
they bring him up in like the group calls they have.
Yeah. The only thing is like maybe Sasuke might not know shit about Sasori because like what reason would he have had to? Like he might know like some surface level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I am leaning more towards Sasori here. But.
Yeah, they're honestly like now talking about it and stuff. Like there's a lot less win cons that are probable for Sasuke in this kind of scenario, and like there just hasn't been enough established in the video, especially power wise. There just hasn't been like a lot of just what's been said is like, well, he's faster than Sakura, so he should be stronger than Sakura, kind of thing.
Yeah,
unless
faster
you guys
than Sakura, therefore he bodies Sasori is basically the argument.
Yeah, so, but no, like they've even, or at least maybe Six has said it, like he's stronger than Sakura too, but like they haven't said anything about why. So
yeah,
not that I disagree, I'm just putting that out there, right?
Yeah.
Bringing up is maybe poison. And poison won't work either because Sasuke has a form of poison resistance due to Orochimaru.
Sasuke not be killed
you
with
are
poison.
you are underrating that poison, bro. You
That
are
is true.
highly underrating that poison. Like it is potent enough that there's only one ninja in the world that could figure out an antidote for it, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's also like the person making the statement is Kakashi, and like Kakashi doesn't know how strong or how potent Sasori's poison is because he never fought Sasori. He fought Deidara. He let Sakura fight them. Yeah, and like this was like in reference to the poison that like Sakura dipped her kunai in. Like,
Yeah,
like is
that's
that
like a basic ass poison, bro. Like that shit you could buy at the store probably.
Yeah, that's something she mixed together and like I don't know. We have no idea how potent that poison is, but like just for reference and like how deadly Sasori's poison is. Chio mid fight against Hanzo the Salamander. You guys probably know who that boy is.
Yup.
Hanzo the Salamander's poison was so deadly that he himself, who had poison resistance, if it were ever the case that his poison sac got penetrated, even he would become severely weakened by it and affected by it, right? Chio mid battle cured that poison, like found an antidote for it. Or at least was able to find an antidote for it. It took the entire Sand Village, Chio, and Sakura to come up with a temporary antidote for Sasori's poison.
Yeah.
And it was really only Sakura that was able to figure it out. Chio did not figure it out. Like, she couldn't. So, there's a difference in level of poison here. Yeah. Like, Sasori poison is like peak of the verse. Nobody, I really think, could resist it besides, like, some characters with some wild region, you know? Like, there's like, Hashirama would probably not give a fuck. Like, 100 Healing Tsunade would be like, oh, yeah, that's great. Healing cells immediately. Like, you know, like,
if it's
all
something
the cells
that drastic, yeah.
You probably could say they would be able to heal or regen from it or something like that, but like as goes for like Sasuke being able to resist basic poison, like Hanzo could resist poison, but even his poison, like his poison was so deadly that if he breathed on you, you would die. Like and it was still not as good as Sasori's poison. So
and keep in mind, this is all having to do with antidotes. Like they had to figure out antidotes for these super like unique, powerful poisons, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and they had prep going in because Conqueror was poisoned.
Yeah.
Like,
and even then, like Sakura was like nicked, and she was like, damn, she's gonna die. Like,
yeah.
So,
I do think it's not that bad of an argument though. Like, even if we do take away like the poison aspect of Sasori's Iron Sand, like that spike is still going through his forehead. Like that's not stopping the power aspect of the Iron Sand. The power alone is going to be too much for Sasuke.
There hasn't been like any kind of mention on like the actual power behind the Iron Sand. Like I don't think they mentioned really anything about the Iron Sand and how like strong it actually is, or why like Sasuke would be able to defend against it. So
you would have to you legit would have to argue this Sasuke has like perfect Jinchuriki level durability in order to say he would be able to resist this attack,
which is a reach.
There's no way to prove it. Absolutely no way. Like he doesn't.
We kind of get proof of the opposite. Like
like Taka MS Sasuke when he fights B and gets murked by base B, and like his durability gets murked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know that Sasuke's people argue that Sasuke's weaker than Curse Mark 2 Sasuke or whatever, but by how much? You know, like there's no way you can prove to me that Curse Mark 2 Sasuke has enough durability to resist an attack that can beat perfect Jinchuriki. You know, so. Even if we take away the poison, I still don't really think he's going to be able to stop it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if one of those bullets just flies through his heart or brain, man? Like, you know, or one of those spikes do that, so. Yeah.
True. Either his training or absorbing him doesn't matter. If you want to say the poison resistance can't be quantified, the same thing could just be flipped back onto the poison, that the poison can't be quantified.
I mean, you don't need something specific. We know it's the strongest. Like that's we really don't need to quantify it.
It's the best poison in the verse.
Yeah.
Besides maybe like Ninetales chakra poisoning people. But I don't know.
But yeah.
That's different.
We're not there yet. Like
resistance. But yeah, Sasuke just slaps. Like it's terrible.
like I said earlier, I think realistically, I think it's just in character for him to use Shidori right off the bat. As we know, Shidori is a speed amp in its own right. And like I said before, base is already blitz levels above, so he has that Shidori amp on top of that, with the course mark on top of that. He's blitzing without, without any sort of problem. He's one tapping any puppet he has. In pure honesty, we really don't see any sort of way that Sasori could technically take this W and walk out of this fight as a winner. In pure honesty.
Nah, we do.
Anything else, Six?
I mean, I don't think we need to go over anything else.
Yeah, so I think it's clear always that's heavy sauce.
AP scaling. Look,
I think
we could have
be
went
done
over
with
that.
this video.
Yeah, we're done with it. Like they're pretty much done. So like, I don't know. I definitely don't think there was like enough context on like, especially power wise, or like enough detail spoken about like the poison and stuff. I don't personally, and I don't mean this as like an insult. There wasn't really enough research done on like the poison stuff.
On Sasori in general, to be honest.
Yeah. Like it was very surface level, and I think you guys kind of came to like certain conclusions without like very general conclusions, rather than kind of like going into depth about like why this is like how hype that poison actually is, like why it's so strong, right? You guys didn't really dig into the iron sand as much and why that's extremely powerful.
Even the Sasuke stuff, they didn't drop that much info about. Like, they didn't even talk about genjutsu, man, and that's kind of important. You know?
Yeah, no, they didn't. I was gonna say like I think they like brushed over it, but like I genuinely don't remember him saying like anything about genjutsu. Like, granted, obviously, like there isn't much to talk about with Heavy Sasuke like in his genjutsu, but like it's still a factor, right? Like he still can do it, and it's like whether or not it'll work. I mean, again, that's up to y'all. But like,
hold on a second. Someone sent me a scan. Let's see what this is
like
about.
scans.
He said that Sasori's eye sockets weren't in his puppet body. Like, he doesn't have actual eyes. I mean,
is it? I mean, he has a brain, right? Like,
yeah,
is he still perceiving things?
Well,
because like Genju, like the way the ocular genjutsu works is like it like you insert chakra into them, right? Like that's kind of my understanding of it, right? Or is that just Tsukuyomi?
Yeah. So wait, hold on. That's specifically Tsukuyomi.
Okay.
Like, he injects chakra into brains, but the way that like other chakras, like they say it like affects the optical nerves which are in the brain. So like, yeah, you're right. The thing is though, I don't know if he actually has a brain, because like,
know.
Yeah, the issue is with Sasori, the way he became a human puppet. So he turned his whole body besides his core into like a puppet body, right?
Wait, yeah, that's like the only thing that's organic on him.
Yeah, it's like his spirit is like still in his core. So it's like, does he like even have optical nerves? Like, it's like,
unless you were to argue like, because genjutsu's like a disruption of chakra, that like maybe you can kind of like argue it still might work, right?
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Even that, like, I feel like there are like other prerequisites needed for like ocular genjutsu specifically, like, or even just like, because it's like it's a mental thing for the most part.
Oh my gosh, Kosu, peep that scan I sent you. Read the bottom right. The nucleus is that core that we're talking about, by the way. Read that bottom right part.
His body was controlled through the nucleus. If the nucleus is lost, he's a mere shell. Bro, he don't have a brain. he don't have a brain. Damn. Like, genjutsu might not work. It might not work, bro. I'm not even gonna cap. Like,
it might be in his core. It's unclear. Yeah, his optical nerves are in his core. By the way, this does prove that Sasori just happens to be one of the best medical ninja ever, because he can just like
easily
take out his own organs and like make it go into his core.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I don't know.
I don't see Tsunade doing that, right? Like, I'm just kidding. But like, that's, dude. Yeah, he ain't got a brain. Look, his eyes are out, right? Like right there. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know if it would work or not, but there's some pretty good count. Like, obviously he knows about Itachi, so he's gonna know not to look into the eyes unless he's just a doofus, which I don't think he is.
Yeah, I think the likelihood of him being under a genjutsu is not high, not very high. So
especially considering Sasuke doesn't even really use genjutsu like that most of the time. He prefers to fight with ninjutsu. Like he does use it on Deidara. Like he did use it.
yeah,
But
it's for like
Deidara
illusion
resisted it,
stuff.
yeah.
Like it wasn't anything like crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Like like Deidara resisted, but either way, I don't. Genjutsu might be the better win con, but even then, like no puppet brain. But whatever. I think Sasori probably wins, to be honest.
Personally, I'm leaning towards that too. I think you could probably make some arguments for Sasuke, but like I'd say like Sasuke would probably win like 3 times out of 10 in this kind of scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Edos don't got brains too, but Genjutsu works on them too. They do kind of got brains though, like.
Because they have like a. Like, it's not just, like, an empty shell. Like, it's literally a person in there. And then, like, they, like, do this whole little, what is it, like, a bunch of, like, paper and shit. And, like...
It's not even paper. It's just, like, when their body, like, gets destroyed, it regens. Because you have to destroy the soul in order to destroy the body. It's some, like, weird shit. Like, it's, like...
But they take over a corpse, right? Like, the
it's
body
like a real
parts are still
body.
intact.
Yeah, it just regens. I don't know. Like, maybe. Like I said, it's a maybe on that, but... Yeah, like I still think Sasori has better win cons. So
facts. But either way, I'm gonna like and I'll subscribe to you, Air Tiger, because you know what?
Whoa!
You're
not that bad of a video, to be honest. I've seen worse.
And you said you've improved. I'll check out your more improved stuff later.
Yeah,
I believe in you. Yeah, probably gonna skip over this one.
You want to just flash forward so I can just like skip to like some random placements, like. I guess he.
What does strength mean to you?
I don't know.
Some say it's how.
Shut up.
Maybe this is the reason I haven't reacted to New Horizons videos, by the way, just because like every time
they're just long.
Yeah, it's just like it's either not that interesting of a topic or it's just long. Yeah. Question: how fast is the Raikage in your opinion? I mean, he did be beating the hell out of Kage Summit Sasuke and dodging Amaterasu, so pretty good. He's as fast as Minato. It's directly stated in the data book.
No.
Maybe a little below KCM Naruto, relative or below Minato. Like,
I don't know. What do you want to? Do you want to like kind of skim through it or?
I mean, you want to ask chat? Like, they want to see.
Yeah. What do you guys want? Do you want to go straight to Gojo versus Itachi, or do you want to kind of go through this one as well?
Skim through it, yeah.
So I don't have to do anything until like what, another 2 hours from now, anyways. So.
Yeah. I've seen some say he's FTL and some say he's almost the speed of light. Well, I can tell you this straight up: he's definitely FTL. What the statement that the original panel that everyone uses, because the 4th data book isn't properly translated. It says that the Raikage performs the lariat at almost the speed of light. That's the translation on Narutoversity. That's the panel they use and stuff, and that's like a really common one. But this guy did, like, I was the one that debunked this a long time ago. It doesn't say almost. It says like. He performs the lariat at speeds like light.
Yeah, which is an example. That's not like a. That's not like it's like you're about to get there. Like it's like this much from it. No, that's like an example of how fast that would be.
He's moving like light, you know. Like, that sounds light speed to me, to be honest. And also, there's a bunch of attacks like Mifune can slash at the speed of light. So can the Samurai, and Kage Summit was able to block their attacks. Like the light attack that they use. Darwe's Laser Circus is light speed, and it moves the same speed as like Gaara Sand and like Tamari's Kunai and shit. And Sasuke reacts and blocks all those attacks, and the Raikage's just out there like beating his ass. So there's quite a few pretty decent arguments for the Raikage being FTL by this point. Also, the Minato that like fought the Raikage, like the Raikage can perform the lariat in base. Like he doesn't need like, and on panel they show version 1 Raikage. So even then, like at worst, it's V1 Raikage's light speed, right? We still have a whole nother cloak on after that. So he's definitely FTL in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like people are saying Gojo versus Itachi, so we're gonna skip over that.
Good.
So the real winner, boys, the real winner. All right.
Yeah.
It's not the fake one. So
Itachi versus Gojo. who wins. So at the time I'm recording this video, Gojo is about to have his big...
Real quick, though, I want to ask Noodles, like, before we even get into that, who do you think wins so far? Because I know you just caught up on JJK, right?
So, I think that Gojo's speed is the biggest contention, right? Because if you argue that Gojo's inaccessible in speed, I think it's
Then there's no
basically
contest.
impossible.
Yeah.
Because Hollow Purple would just work on him.
Yeah.
So, if you argue inaccessible speed Gojo, which I know a lot like to do, and I haven't read far enough yet to really figure out whether or not he is inaccessible speed or if it's just time hacks or something like that. So, if you argue that, Gojo definitely wins. But if you are like one of the people that argue like that mock statement or whatever that people use to like as an anti-feat for the verse, like there's like a Gojo makes like a statement that someone's like at mock speed or something like that, and it's like considered impressive or something. If that's the case, like I think Itachi probably wins.
Well, there's so Clothespins actually has a calc that places him at sub-rel, I think. Too, so
still too slow, honestly. Like Itachi has some
yeah.
easy like 50 times FTL stuff.
Yeah.
I made a 50 times FTL calc, so.
Oh, I gotta peep that then. What the fuck? Let me see that at some
for
point.
Minato. Yeah. It's Minato dodging the Raikage. There's other calcs of it too. Then there's also the 70 times calc for KCM Naruto dodging the Raikage too.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's Shizuka. Yeah, there's quite a few, and there's also like multipliers and stuff you can use to make them go higher. But that you can easily argue FTL for Itachi, and I think that's still probably fast enough. Now the issue is like there's like that stuff where people argue that Gojo can. Honestly, let's just watch the video.
Yeah. I was like, before we actually get into it, like let's see what this guy has to say first, then we'll give our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we could go on and on for just like describing everything. So
fight in the manga, and I just want to say that this audio was recorded before that happened, so whatever new abilities, skills, feats, etc. is shown, it's not going to be accounted for in this video. Don't worry, Gojo fans, because any other videos I make regarding him in a battle, I will include those feats next time. Now, this is a matchup I've seen discussed before, especially when the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen came out with its huge popularity increase, and you know, there's not much similarities between the characters, other than that they both have unique anime eyes, both are cool in their own respective series, and both possess very powerful hacks abilities that I think would be interesting to see how a clash between the two would look like. For example, could Hollow Purple erase Susanoo's Yatsumir? Would the Totsuka Blade ignore Gojo's Infinity? How would Itachi react to his domain expansion? What if he uses Tsukuyomi, etc.? Of course, there will be manga spoilers for both series.
This actually looks like a really well-made video.
Yeah.
Starting very bluntly, Itachi cannot physically attack Gojo, as Gojo's Infinity should protect him from any and all of Itachi's taijutsu. Now, what about Genjutsu and his spiritual arsenal? Yeah, we'll get there. This is because Gojo possesses the Limitless, an inherited curse technique passed down within the Gojo family, as it allows him to bring the concept of infinity into reality.
Now be careful, that's a fine line you're walking. All right. Motherfuckers be hearing concept and be like, oh, he's out or no? Like, oh, shit. I didn't know he was that strong. Like, you're tiptoeing a really fine line there when you're saying the concept of infinity. Like, he literally just states, like, he brings infinity, like, into reality. He doesn't necessarily say the concept of infinity, right? He says infinity exists, I just bring it to reality. That's what he says.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I have a calc for you that I forgot about, and I literally sent it the other day, but I'll show it to you real quick. It's for Shisui, who Itachi is one of the... Itachi's literally the only person that scales to this, by the way.
Oh, shit. Goddamn.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. I just want to show you, because that one debate, or that one thing we said earlier. Hold on. Where did I send it? Damn, I wish I had it on hand. Man, this is making me mad. Let me see.
Also, Primordial, yeah. If you do want to talk about any like Fire Force stuff, feel free to join my my server. If anybody's in my server that's capable of creating an invite, pop that in the chat for him.
All right. Peep this. Don't show it on stream. Just peep it if you can. All right, it's fine. Just look at DM.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it after, because like if I click on it, it's definitely going on stream. Like
yeah, just look at it after. But it's like it's 310 times.
Bro, what the fuck? What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I'm peeping that after.
Yeah, I'll talk about it after. I gotta save it for the Itachi videos. Why?
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Family, as it allows him to bring the concept of infinity into reality. Now, there's 3 main abilities within the Limitless. We'll just briefly go over all 3. The first
There's a few more than that, but okay.
being infinity, as we just mentioned. So in episode 7 of the anime, we saw that Jogo's hand was not able to touch Gojo's, as there seemed to exist an infinite barrier between both Gojo and Jogo. Wow, what names. More specifically, there's actually an infinite amount of fractions, as the author states in a volume extra that Gojo's technique resembles the Achilles and the tortoise paradox. Now this doesn't just work on physical attacks, but Gojo's infinity is even applicable to curse techniques, meaning if we were to apply verse equalization, then chakra should be susceptible to Gojo's infinity. Earlier in the Jogo
100%
fight,
would.
we saw
Yeah.
Gojo countering his lava, as well as
Curse
halting
energy
his
basically
ember
works
insect
exactly
bombs
like
all
chakra
through
anyway.
his infinity. The second asset to the Limitless is curse technique lapse blue, or just blue for short. This allows Gojo to essentially generate a strong field of attraction in a certain area. Now there's actual numbers and science behind how he does this, though again, we're not going to go too in depth. All we need to know and understand is that by pouring more cursed
I want the
energy or
numbers.
more negative energy into the technique, Gojo can create that conceptual impossibility of negative distance and bring that into reality. In turn, it creates a magnetic-like effect, sucking the surrounding space and his opponents along with it. So the only way to defend blue is by outrunning the attractive force entirely, which I believe Itachi can do given his insane speed stats, and yeah, we'll get into his speed later. Gojo can also use blue directly on a person, so kind of similar to Itachi's Amaterasu, where you can just spawn the effect directly at the target.
Well, so I have a few contentions with the Amaterasu stuff, because like there's been like instances where like Sasuke uses it, unless you were to say like their Amaterasus are different, which is kind of weird, but
That
like
is what people argue.
yeah, like the instances where Sasuke uses it, it definitely travels. Like they show it travel.
Yeah, like with the Raikage, you can just see that the Raikage
He's just
clearly
dodging
moves.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Itachi, it's kind of weird. I think there's maybe like one time where it might have shown to travel, but like a majority of the time
Alright.
it just spawns.
I'm gonna show you a clip real quick, Kosu, and it's gonna make it seem hella like it's moving. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, like this is an anime scene, and it's gonna look like it's moving. But I don't have these statements on hand. I really need to compile them together. There are a few statements that just directly say like wherever the focal point is, like wherever Itachi focuses on, flames appear, basically. So he just has to focus, and the flames will appear there. Now, again, like if he's inaccessible in speed, shit's
That doesn't
not gonna
matter.
work. Yeah, it doesn't work, right? He would just not be able to focus on them. So let me see if I can find this real quick. I'm typed in Kosu in my bar. That ain't gonna work.
Nah, you want to type Kosu in your bar.
It's when he uses Amaterasu on Sasuke. You might want to keep this muted, that way you don't get copyrighted.
Heard that.
Hold on.
Also, guys, if you haven't done so already, like the stream. All right.
Yeah, go like the stream, boys. Let's get the stream like.
And some of y'all, I know y'all ain't subscribed to me yet. Subscribe. It's down there. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Go.
Button's right down there.
All right, I want you to go to 150, Kosu.
All right.
And just turn it down or keep it muted, whatever you want. That way you don't get copyrighted or something weird. Well, you're not even monetized anyway, so I suppose it doesn't matter, but it's up to you.
Yeah. You said 150?
Yeah, 150.
Oh, I remember this. Okay, so that's interesting because
Keep watching.
So it does appear and then it moves. But
it's kind of weird. See, look at that.
yeah. Well, he's definitely moving it there, right? Like it's
Now,
But like initially though, it does just look like it appears.
well, even there, like you see how his head's following Sasuke?
Yeah.
It seems to me that he doesn't want to kill Sasuke, obviously. He just wants to press him enough. Like, this is literally stated during the fight. Like, he had to draw Sasuke to the weakest point of his life. Like, this is stated about this Amaterasu, basically. Because Obito basically is talking to Sasuke after the fight, and he was like, he tried to kill me, right? Because Obito's trying to convince Sasuke that basically Itachi wasn't a bad guy and he wasn't actually trying to kill you. He's like, he used Amaterasu on me. Of course he was trying to kill me. And Madara states that no, he wasn't actually trying to kill you. He was trying to push you to your absolute limit so Orochimaru would come out of you so he could seal him.
So
basically.
he was trying to be precise with his aim.
Yeah, and he wasn't trying to kill Sasuke at all because we know he was trying to give him his eyes.
Yeah.
So what I think he was doing was, I think he was just following behind Sasuke and just keep summoning fire, basically. Like, focusing behind Sasuke, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it, like you described, the way he, like, makes shit appear, it just appears on them. And it's directly stated that it appears at the focal point. So he just has to focus on you and flames appear, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm wondering if that, like... anyways,
the thing is, though, right, like, would that still work if there's an infinite distance?
That's what
like,
I'm thinking.
Can Amaterasu cross an infinite distance?
But that's the thing, like, Sasuke's, no, right? Because, like, that one just travels.
That
right?
one travels, 100%.
That's, like, a definite no. But, like, Itachi's is, like, a little tricky because, like, if you think... Because, like, for me, I'm of the opinion that his infinities, like, is an infinite space, right? Infinite distance, infinite space, like that. It's almost like, the way I describe it is almost like a pseudo universe around himself, right? Yeah. That's the way I describe it, and that's the way they kind of like almost imply it to be. In like the you remember when I told you about like those mathematicians, like they were kind of like breaking down his ability, and they blatantly just say it's an infinite space, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. Of the statements that I've read, like there's just too many statements where like, oh yeah, I'm putting an infinite distance between us, and they compare it to the tortoise and the hare, and they call it like a divergent number. Which, if you know what a divergent number is, it's just an infinite series.
Yeah.
So it's like he is literally like, the closer you get to him, the more space he puts between. It's an unending amount of space, right? Yeah. So it is just an infinite space.
So I think it wouldn't. I'm not sure, but I would lean more towards the idea that it would create basically this wall of infinity in front of him. So like it would just kind of stop there, right?
I have something I'm gonna ask you later, but I want to watch more of the video
Me too.
first.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
In doing so with Blue, it makes their bodies implode and have their limbs instantly crushed. Additionally, Gojo also uses Blue to quote-unquote teleport, but we'll talk more about that when we go over the speed segment. Lastly, the third asset to the Limitless is Curse Technique Reversal Red. We'll just call it Red for short, but as the full name suggests, it's the reversal of Blue. So instead of the power to attract, Red generates the power to repel. And this is possible by flowing reverse cursed energy, so positive energy, into the Limitless, which conceptually creates distance, whereas Blue deletes it.
You gotta be careful with conceptual stuff, man.
In simpler terms, everything is
I
just
don't know
being
if it's actually
pushed
concept
away in
creation
order
more
to...
as he's just bringing it to reality. It's more like reality minute, you know.
Well, that's definitely the case. But there are some statements about I think it's from what's his name, Akutami or something like that. Like, there's statements specifically from the author, like saying like he actually can control the concept of distance, like between.
I mean, it probably is some concept manip in there as well.
Yeah,
but
not
again,
to like an outrageous degree, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just having concept manip doesn't necessarily make you the super OP. Yeah, Nate's actually right. Concept outer facts.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So be careful, motherfuckers.
Why were we even talking about inaccessible? That boy irrelevant. So.
That boy irrelevant.
to accommodate that new added space. Hence, unlike Pain's almighty push, Gojo's red cannot be withstood like Naruto did using his shadow clone, because there's no force being generated. Rather, everything moves away by themselves. Kenjaku stated in chapter 84 that Gojo's reversal red outputs as much energy than its counterpart of blue, meaning the repelling effect is much stronger, and we see it's shown well in both the anime and manga, as Jogo is seen flying away along with its surrounding environment. So Infinity, Blue, and Red are the three main assets to the Limitless. There is an extension asset within the technique, and it combines both Blue and Red, making Hollow Purple. Rather than the attraction of Blue or the repulsion of Red, Hollow Purple just rushes forth and erases everything in its path.
This would
The effects
100%
differ
work
from
on
Red
Itachi
and
if it
Blue,
ever
as
connected
you
with them.
can survive those attacks, but with Purple, no
It's
matter how
basically just the
strong
Totsuki
or
mode,
durable
I mean.
you are, if you don't have
Essentially,
resistance to
yeah.
It's like
durability
a
negation, Purple will just
it's like
reduce you
the
to nothing,
Kaguya's
as
Totsuki
even
orb almost. Like,
Yeah.
in
So-
Volume 0, we get further details from Miguel, who was informed by Geto, Gojo's best friend in Hidden Inventory, that the technique works down to an atomic level. Now, Hollow Purple is also instantaneous. If you watch
I'd be careful with
Okay.
that. I'd be careful with that.
the anime only, it doesn't display Hollow Purple's actual true speed, and that's obviously
so
because
hold
the
on,
anime
real quick, Kosu. So, do you think the Hollow Purple like truly erases like people like on a spiritual level and stuff, or do you think it's just an atomic breakdown?
I think, I mean, it's definitely an atomic breakdown for sure. Like,
Okay,
but
yeah.
spiritual wise, like that's kind of tough. I think you could potentially argue it because I know there's characters like Mahito that could like tamper with like someone's soul and stuff.
Yeah.
And like obviously this like an attack like this should just work on someone like
It
him,
probably
right?
would, yeah.
And we know like for Mahito, like the only way to like really get rid of the motherfucker is like get rid of his soul, right? Or well, like how he actually gets.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's just unlikely that anyone besides Sukuna would be able to survive something like this. So
Right. So I think you could probably apply that idea to this because of like characters that are like unique to that kind of trope. But you know,
yeah,
regardless, there's like definitely some more stuff that would make this ability impressive, which I can talk about later.
yeah. The reason I asked that specifically is maybe Edo Itachi could regen, right? Because an atomic level attack won't put away Edo Itachi. You gotta have something that destroys the soul.
Yeah.
Because they can be completely vaporized and come back, you know. So
Yeah. I think it should be able to. But I'd have to like kind of research it a bit more, just because I
Yeah.
can't say it definitively
Now-
do it.
I honestly, bro, I'll talk about it a bit later, but Yadamir might be able to block it too. But
I think I know where you're coming from with that, because
Yeah.
like there's some like no we'll talk about it.
It's
It's basically like a truth seeking orb too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like another version of it, and it's also stated to be able to block all things. And it's like a spirit weapon and shit. So it might work, but yeah, continue.
Yeah.
animators needed to show what Hollow Purple looks like, but in terms
Sort
of
of
how
erases
fast
the soul.
it
Tsukuyomi
actually
does
is,
erase
well,
the soul,
since
destroys
it's
it.
an imaginary
Mhm.
mass, in other words, massless, it has the potential to travel at light speed or even faster than light, similar to photons or tachyon particles, though we can't say for sure.
Where are we getting that? I mean, I can understand because like both like tachyons are like kind of this like hypothetical matter in physics. But
Don't
like,
explode my brain, Kosu. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
tachyons are like this, yeah, like it's like a hypothetical form of matter that's like it's like it's supposed to be the only substance or something that like is faster than light, right? Like the only conceivable thing that can be faster than light. But I don't know why we're relating it to this. That's what I'm interested on.
Because the animators needed to show what Hollow Purple looks like, but in terms of how fast it actually is, well, since it's an imaginary mass, in other words, massless, it has the potential to travel at light speed or even faster than light, similar to photons or tachyon particles, though we can't say for sure because the existence of tachyons with imaginary mass is a topic of theoretical debate, but at least knowing that Toji, one of the fastest characters in Jujutsu Kaisen who has superhuman speed, the fact that he couldn't evade Hollow Purple, and I think it definitely helps suggest that it's a very fast, instantaneous attack, but I'm not gonna go
Yeah, just
Don't use
I wouldn't
instantaneous
even.
in it. And
I'd-
for
yeah.
for all the people who want to power skill speed, don't use instantaneous unless you're talking about like actual instantaneous speed, like
Yeah, there
speed
are
with
some
no time.
there are some
basically.
arguments for instantaneous speed, even like to support the inaccessible stuff.
Well, that is
but-
inaccessible speed, right? Like
Right,
if
yeah,
you can-
essentially
if-
like
yeah.
taking it like hyper literally, like instantaneous should kind of like suggest this idea of like moving a distance like from A to B to with no time.
Yeah,
Like that's
if it's instant, no time passes, right?
yeah.
But a lot of times that's just a way to hyperbolically say someone's fast too,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard to use, you know. So.
The colloquial use of the word instantaneous is to describe like a huge speed difference, but not to the point of like a true instantaneous. Like it's just to describe, it's to hype it up, right? It's be like, oh dude, he moved instantaneously. It's like, no, it's like he probably moved just really, really fast and you couldn't see it, right? Like that's the majority of like the use of it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. The thumbnail updated, by the way, Kosu.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go. But yeah, I wouldn't have even touched on the tachyon thing because like, just because it's massless, right? Doesn't necessarily imply that it shares commonalities or like even similarities to like the.
It's kind of just
to, like,
arbitrary, right?
Yeah. It's a cool idea though. Like I think the theory's dope, but like we just don't have enough to go off of.
Yeah.
Far
My
and
ramen
say
is
that it's an
instant.
FTL. Now,
Thanks.
it's time to go over Itachi himself
Cool.
and fare him off against Gojo at the same time while we go over his abilities. Okay, now this guy has a
Did they talk about Gojo's speed? Like besides like the weird tachyon stuff?
He just said that the Hollow Purple has like instantaneous speed and it scales to Toji or whoever the fast guy was. But,
Yeah, I mean Toji's fast, but like that's an old feat, bro. That's an old, like that was a fucking like throwback. Like I don't know.
a lot of hacks,
so I
and
don't
I'm
know.
only going to mention the ones that I believe are necessary to fight Gojo, which I guess is most of his abilities. Starting with his Mangekyo Sharingan, where one of its many abilities is his Susanoo. Itachi's Susanoo possesses the Totsuka blade, a weapon known for its ability to cut through anything it attends to, as it easily slashes
shit would
through
not
all of the
fucking
heads of Orochimaru's
think so.
eight-headed serpent. What
It
makes
just
the
would never
Totsuka
reach
blade
him.
very special
He still has
is
to
its
swing his
unique
arm, you know?
sealing
Oh, yeah.
ability, which
I think
Like-
if it actually did hit him, like sealing Gojo is probably like the best way you can get rid of him,
It
right?
would-
Like
it-
it just shows. But
Yeah.
like
Like
yeah,
the way they describe it too is that like it seals you into a drunken world of illusion. Like it genjutsus you too. So
yeah,
it's fucked up.
But it
like
has
you
to-
get sealed and mind taxed.
that's fucked. Damn. Yeah, like there's just it has to touch him. If
Yeah.
it touched him, maybe. But there's like
Seals
I
your
don't
soul
see a way
too, by the way. Like it takes your
Oh,
soul
yeah.
out of your body and then throws you into a world of drunken illusion. It's horrible. How Orochimaru came back? Ask him, bro. I don't know.
Bro, he's like the most resilient motherfucker in like anime. Like I don't know.
Yeah, my brother hates it. I've been rewatching the Naruto anime for like the 4th time. I don't know why, but I'm showing him. I'm not showing anyone else, so don't ask. And we got to that part, and he was just like, "Wow, why does Orochimaru keep coming back?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "And I bet he's still gonna come back too, because Kabuto has Orochimaru in him." I'm like, "You have no fucking
Wow,
idea." Like,
damn.
he called it. Totally
Good
called
shit.
it, man. Yeah,
Damn.
he called that shit. I was like, "Yeah." Tell
Yeah.
me so. Let's go. No, what do you want to tell? What do you want me to tell you, Nate? I ain't telling you shit, son. I ain't telling you shit.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep going.
which was used
Before Nick
against
gets mad.
Orochimaru at the end of the Sasuke versus Itachi fight. The blade can seal anything it pierces. Those who are stabbed are
gotta be
drawn
careful with
into
that.
its jar and are trapped in a genjutsu-like realm for all eternity. As stated in chapter 392, the ability, along with the Yatsumir, both function on a spiritual and or intangible level. In other words,
Yeah.
the sealing can target the actual soul,
Yeah, so he
and the
basically
blade
nailed it.
itself has no physical form.
I mean,
It's
and that's fine, but like again, like Infinity also has like those properties, right?
This would have to be like he would have to use this after he already genjutsus him or something, or Amaterasu's him. Like this would be like end fight, like I want to put Gojo away permanently type thing. Like
Mhm.
he would use that as his win con because Gojo can come back from just physical damage, right?
Yeah.
So
And I mean, it's still chakra too, right? Like everything in Naruto is chakra. Like
this
you
is
know what I
this
mean?
is actually not chakra because it's a
Really?
weapon. Yeah, it's
Okay.
actually just a physical. Well, it's not physical, but it's an item. Like this
Yeah.
is not it's not chakra based at all. It might actually be because the Yatamir has all the chakra natures infused in it. But again, that's an item too. So it's like it just happens to have those properties, but I don't know if the Totsuka blade has it. It might. It might.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know if like that would be able to like
Permanently
do
put down
much.
Gojo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll see what he says.
What do you think? What do you think would happen if he did get sealed? Like, let's just say hypothetically, Gojo got genjutsu by Itachi and Tsukuyomi. His body isn't moving. He's not activating the infinity or anything, and Itachi just walks up and seals him. Like, do you think he would be able to come back from that, like prison realm type thing, or like what do you think would happen?
I don't know. Like, what are the properties of the Totsuka blade like inside?
It just says that you can seal anything in Naruto, and it says that it's non-physical. It worked on Orochimaru, and it seals you into a world where you're also mind taxed by genjutsu.
That might work, honestly. If you know everything went correctly for Itachi and he was able to get him in there, like that might be a way of like BFRing him.
Yeah. Okay, we can continue. That's all I was curious about.
For sure.
Just like what happened to Orochimaru, the Totsuka blade sealed his spiritual presence in the eternal genjutsu world while his physical form remained unscathed. Of course, later in the story, Sasuke does bring Orochimaru back, but then in the war arc, Itachi used the Totsuka blade again to seal Nagato's Edo Tensei body.
What a
who was
horrible
in
way for
control by
Nagato to go
Kabuto.
out,
So
bro.
unless
Yeah,
a
you're just gonna
character
be in a
has
genjutsu
resistance
world
to
for the rest of your
spiritual attack,
existence.
Totsuka blade can
Yeah,
seal
that shit kinda
anyone.
sucks.
But let's pose the
Eternally.
first question of this fight. Can the Totsuka blade ignore infinity and seal Satoru Gojo? Well, no. As blatant as that might sound, I don't think it can, and I have evidence to back this up. I'll first start off with why people think it can bypass infinity. So simply put, because the Totsuka blade has no physical form, it doesn't exist within physical space, means that Gojo's infinity would supposedly be useless. As in, no matter how much infinite fractions or infinite distance there is, the intangibility of the Totsuka blade would bypass Gojo's infinity, since infinity is a concept that exists in physical reality, brought by Gojo, as stated in Volume 0, to work down
Infinity's
to an
not
atomic
even
level.
tangible,
Now,
man.
the reason why I still don't
I don't
believe this
know.
at
Well,
all is
I don't
because,
know.
one, we've seen that cursed spirits are somewhat intangible in Jujutsu Kaisen. Normal citizens can't see curses like the sorcerers can, and while a part of that is because they don't have the necessary cursed energy, we actually do see a few curses phasing through walls, surfaces, and objects in the manga.
Yeah.
Phasing through physical matter is a huge characteristic of intangibility. Rika phased through a wall in Volume 0, and at the time, she
I
was
agree with
considered a special grade cursed spirit. So if cursed spirits that are intangible in Jujutsu Kaisen's verse, and it can't physically touch Gojo because of his infinity, then I don't see why the Totsuka blade wouldn't suffer the
I
same.
mean,
To
can it
conclude
not
this
neg the
question,
atoms
yes,
Gojo is
I think the
manipulating?
Totsuka
That's only
blade
with
would.
Hollow Purple.
You said what?
I was reading Toshiro's question. He said, I mean, can it not just neg the atoms Gojo is manipulating? That's only Hollow Purple, right? Like the atomic thing? Like, that's not
Although,
referring to
no,
the infinity
well,
ability?
My thing is though, like, it might be just a product of his Hollow Purple, but like each of his abilities like come from his, you know, cursed energy, right? So like maybe it's just a property of his cursed energy too, but I can't say for certain that all of his techniques would share the same properties. It could just be a result of mixing blue and red that performs that.
Yeah. Also, just because you're intangible doesn't mean you can suddenly cross an infinite distance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Why would it? You know? Just because you can't be touched doesn't mean you can... You suddenly have the necessary ability to cross that. Like, it doesn't have infinite range, you know?
And like intangibility doesn't necessarily mean that like you're spaceless, right? Like, because space and like physical matter are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So like
It still takes up non-physical space, kind of what you're trying to say, right? It's like...
yeah,
It's still like has speed, it still has range, it just doesn't have the physical properties of those. right?
Yeah.
It still requires you to like Itachi can't just be like across the universe, just like one tap Momoshiki, right? He
Yeah,
has to
no,
actually
definitely
walk
not.
up to him and stab him, right?
Yeah.
He would have to like get close to him. So otherwise, the series would just not be very fun. Like, I mean, like, why the fuck would Itachi not just body all of the Akatsuki immediately from anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, oh, you're gone. Oh, you're gone.
There
Doesn't matter.
absolutely
Like,
has to be a limit to what he can do, right? Like,
yeah,
there's otherwise, like, that's the most broken thing in the whole verse. Like,
it would be horrible. Like,
yeah,
like, it has range, and it still requires speed, and it still requires you to physically walk. Like, the blade itself is non-physical. Itachi Susanoo is not. Like, he still has to walk up to you and stab you. Like,
yeah. If
so.
it's and also if it's like truly like doesn't have like physicality, like how can he hold it? Like unless you're saying like the hilt is still physical and maybe like not the blade.
To be fair, chakra is spiritual, so maybe because it's like spiritual and mental energy. There's two different statements for chakra. This is why chakra is kind of confusing. There's one that says it's physical energy, and there's one that says it's mental energy combined with spiritual energy. Regardless, there's physical energy in it, and there's mental/spiritual energy in it, right? So it still should be able to interact with spiritual things just because of that. Like, it still is physical. Like, it has physical properties. It can block physical things. It can touch the ground and shit. Like, if you want to say everyone in Naruto that has chakra just has it's just intangible, like, whatever, like, you can argue that, I suppose. But, like, either way, it still should be able to interact with intangible things from having, like, being half spiritual energy, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I do like his point. Like, he's bringing up decent points, like with the intangibility of like cursed spirits and stuff, and how like that still doesn't affect infinity. So like that's I'm glad he's going down this train of thought. He's better than most, like I'll say.
Like I said from the beginning, I could tell this was higher quality than a lot of the videos. Like,
yeah. So.
Still be caught within infinity, as
no
it
offense,
can't
Air
steal
Tiger, shit on
Gojo
your
since
video.
the blade will never reach him in the first place.
I'm
By
just playing,
answering this question, we can
Air
also
Tiger left the chat
answer
after
if
the-
purple can affect Itachi's Yatsumir. So the Yatsumir is the shield around Itachi's Susanoo.
this
The manga
is-
in the
this ought
database
to be
states that
interesting.
it's an ethereal shield with no set form or properties, as it has the power to alter every one of its attributes in accordance with the attributes of the attack, hence rendering any offensive useless. Okay,
Let's see, this is gonna be
It's
gonna be tough. See, purple versus
Yeah.
Yatamir. Yeah, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah, it also like incorporates every single chakra nature. So it's literally it's basically like you know how particle styles like Keke Toda has like 3 chakra natures in it?
Yeah.
Well, this has all 5 and yin yang. So it's like it's better than that, and that manipulates shit on an atomic level. So and it's spiritual as well. So I honestly do think it would block Hollow Purple, to be real. But
my thing is, if
Yeah.
Hollow Purple was this ability that had nothing to do with infinity, I would agree.
Yeah.
That's
Obviously, there's
that's
an
gonna be
infinity
the tough
aspect.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing, there's also like an amp Hollow Purple during the Sakuna fight, right?
Oh yeah. He did it
Yeah.
at like 200% or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows what that means? But you know, it might mean it wins. Who knows? But let's continue.
Oh, yeah.
wanna
Now,
see what he
there's
says
not
about
really
it.
any correlation to that in Jujutsu Kaisen, like if Hollow Purple would hold a specific nature in terms of verse equalization. I mean, there is cursed energy traits, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters anyways, because just like we established with the Totsuka blade, even if the Yatsumir has no physical form, again, cursed spirits are at least considered intangible within Jujutsu Kaisen's
Yeah, nobody's
verse. So
arguing
when
the
Gojo
tangibility
unleashed
thing.
Hollow Purple in the Kyoto Sister School arc, the fact that it hit and damaged Hanami, just barely escaping in time, is the very proof that Hollow Purple can erase even on an intangible or spiritual level, thus affecting the Yatsumir. So basically, Itachi's
I
Susanoo
don't
would not be
necessarily agree
useful
with that
in this
argument.
fight. Then what about his other arsenals,
Can you
such
rewind a
as
little bit so I can hear what he
Genjutsu? Tsukio would
specifically
not
says?
or spiritual level,
Right here.
thus affecting the Yatsumir. So basically, Itachi's Susanoo would not be useful in this fight. Then what about his other
I mean, we don't have to just like throw his Susanoo out, right? Like that's.
Well, Susanoo is probably the worst aspect of it. It's more like his Yatamir, right?
I mean, I think like the point of the Susanoo would be like to increase like area of effect, like if anything,
Yeah,
right?
And,
Like,
and Itachi can hide in his Yatamir too, so he can
Yeah.
like stay in it. But the thing with the Godamir, right? So if we look at like truth-seeking orbs, they have like all 5 chakra natures put into them, right? And because of that, they can manipulate, very similar to the Yotamir. They can manipulate their properties to erase whatever jutsu they come across, right?
Yeah.
The Yotamir does the exact same thing. It just reflects it back. Okay, that's its ability. It doesn't erase; it reflects it back at you, right? So basically, the idea is it would have to be able to like copy the properties of Hollow Purple. So what are the properties of Hollow Purple, right? That's what we kind of got to answer. And you mentioned the infinity aspect of it, which I'm not really for sure what you even mean by that.
So here's my thing, and I'm gonna point this out just like initially. Does the Yotamir, right, have 4D properties at all?
40? 4D?
4D, yeah.
Man, Kosu, you can't be asking me these questions right now. Like,
well, no, because it matters. Because
I know it matters.
Because Gojo's cursed energy does have 4D properties to it. Hollow Purple put a hole.
I'll say
through...
no for now. I'll say no for now.
So Hollow Purple put a hole through Toji, right?
Yeah.
And on Toji's shoulder, right? You know, like that weird worm thing.
Yeah.
Like that was stated to be like inside of that that creature was stated to be a 4D storage space. Like that like Toji could just like grab stuff out of, right? And he blatantly damaged that thing with Hollow Purple as well. Right? So I think it kind of stands to reason too, like with the whole like
4D erasure kind of.
Yeah. So like I think his cursed energy does have like properties that like work on the 4th like axis, right? So I'm wondering if Hollow Purple, right, if like the Yotamir would be able to block against Hollow Purple knowing that it has like 4D properties. Would it be able to stop something like that?
I'll say this, I definitely think it's possible based on some of the arguments I have, but from like just the statements we get in that fight, and like honestly a lot of my arguments are kind of hypothetical anyway, I'll just say no, that it probably can't stop that. So it probably still would work on him.
Gotcha.
That being said, does it have like speed? Like what's its speed? Like I saw it like, you know.
So, and I think that's kind of like, well, obviously
I know the domains too attacks automatically hit and stuff like that too.
So funny enough, actually, I can get a little bit into his speed if you want, but because obviously there's like the potential like subrel stuff that that Clothespin's calced.
I'll just accept that because it's weak sauce anyway.
For sure, yeah, obviously, right. But you know there are the potential like inaccessible arguments, and there are, you know, obviously until he like he might get nerfed in like the next few chapters or something, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like as of right now, there are some strong arguments to imply that he might be at that speed, because there's supporting evidence from his actions in Jogo's domain, where he just blatantly countered one of the attacks from one of those automatic attacks.
Yeah, he literally said you can counter it with jujitsu and just like knocked it away, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, no, because like his cursed his in a domain, your curse techniques are like off, like his infinity isn't up, like it's turned off, right?
Yeah.
So he's literally
That's what
just
Jogo
like
states too.
He so it's literally just him punching that thing like that, because it's like this giant rock thing that he's like that just appears or whatever, and it's like attacking, right? And he like Gojo just punches it away, right? There is a statement, I think there's two statements. I think one's by Nanami, the other one's by I can't remember.
Toshiro said that Jogo doesn't actually use the can't miss effect. From what I read during the fight, like this is the first time Gojo even mentions that attacks will automatically hit inside of domains, and the only domain that's up at the time is Jogo's.
Yeah.
So
there would be a reason as to why he would bring that up.
Yeah.
I would take what's in that like specific source material over like fan books, to be fair. Not to be rude, but that's just yeah, that's what he said. It was revealed in the fan books. Like I personally would take the source material.
Not
over
non-canon,
that.
non-canon. We don't accept that as canon. Sorry.
So there are statements later on that are, I think it's stated by Nanami and Maki, I believe. It might be Maki, it might be someone else. I don't know. I'd have to reread that specific chapter. But they were stated that, like, they were put in a domain, right? And I think Nanami was explaining how attacks. So, okay, I think it was... I want to say, if I'm saying it wrong, right? It might be Maki. I might be wrong on that, but I believe she states that like an attack from like within that domain was instantaneous, right? Obviously by itself standalone, that doesn't mean much. But Nanami, I believe, supports that by stating attacks in a domain don't exist until like they reach, or until it like impacts or something like that, right? Like they don't exist until they hit you. So
basically it says that these attacks are, it's kind of like how Itachi's Amaterasu works a little bit. Like it's just kind of like it just appears on you. Now obviously Itachi has to focus on you, and that action is just not present.
Yeah.
And this ability, like it literally is just like it hits, right? Like it's kind of
it's auto hit. Yeah, it's just guaranteed to hit you.
Yeah, whereas Itachi would have to focus and then it hits, right? But
exactly.
Yeah, like
so there is some support to the idea that it is instantaneous because of this, of the like statement saying like, oh, it didn't exist until it did, basically, right? And with that, like in the manga, obviously it's a little hard to tell with like, it's hard to tell timing and stuff like that in the manga, but like with that stated, I mean, like I think it was right after an attack, like just I think like hit them, right? Again, I'd have to reread exactly like what who it was and what was stated, but I think it was Nanami explaining how that works. And obviously like, you know, Nanami is kind of like one of the, he's a grade A sorcerer, right? Like he's literally an instructor. He would definitely know how like domain expansions work, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and Gojo, like knowing that information, Gojo's the only one ever shown to be able to dodge or just like react to an attack like that. So if you like kind of match that with the inaccessible argument later on as well, there is some like actual evidence to support that, right? Or at least there's like arguments to support it.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
I was just gonna say, like, it again, this could just be like gone within the next few chapters because, like, you know, with the fight with Sukuna and stuff like that. But
we'll have to see how it plays out.
As of right now, like there are some strong arguments for it.
There's a direct statement of the can't miss effect directly being able to hit Gojo, and it shows Gojo reacting to domain. This is in the fan book. It says even Gojo Satoru can't avoid the can't miss effect. Well, that sounds blatantly contradicting to what the manga says. Like blatantly.
And also what it shows. Like
he literally says
absolutely did, right? So like, I mean, I guess he's probably saying that like Jogo doesn't do the can't miss effect because it states Gojo can't avoid it. But like the manga says, like he literally talks about it while in Jogo's domain, and like there's no other mention or counter to that from Jogo or anybody else, right? Like I feel like that's kind of weird, like information.
I have the scans on hand, so I'll show them to you. We'll just read them now and judge what we think.
Yeah. Is the fan book canon? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Who wrote it too? That's a big question.
Yeah, I'm very hesitant to trust things like that.
Well, if it blatantly contradicts the source material too, there's no point in even considering it, because the data book does that in Naruto sometimes, right? Like, even if it is canon, if it still contradicts the source material, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you always take manga over random data book because it's more important. So here's the scans talking about
curse technique deployed in the domain will always hit, right? Like that's like him right after like reacting to that attack, right?
Yeah, he says this is domain expansion, an environment constructed with cursed energy manifested through a cursed technique. The domain you guys experienced at the facility was unfinished. You guys would have been dead if it's a proper one. Constructing a domain uses a ton of cursed energy, but it can be worth it. First off, you get an upgraded stats to an environment, kind of like a buff in video games. He says that, and then he goes on to say, curse technique deployed in the domain will always hit, and there's one more scan that's important. Let me grab that real fast.
Yeah. Yo, couldn't get the Discord link. Here, let me see if I could just like pop it in for you.
Yeah, then he says, always, and he says always, but no worries, there are counters. Hit it with jujutsu like I did. So he's saying this attack will always hit, but you can counter it like I just did. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of seeming like he's literally talking about this attack. He said they will always hit, but you can counter this with jujutsu.
Yeah. So it's like, it
I
definitely relates to Jogo's domain, right? Like,
well, what else would it be fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Right?
So
Like, there's no other domain up.
The fan book's kind of iffy, man. I don't know. I would be hesitant to take that as credible, especially if it contradicts it this hard.
Hey, pin that message too. That way people can join if they want to.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So, yeah. What were we on about? Oh yeah, like I guess I was talking about the inaccessible stuff. So, you know, there's statements like that. But it's still, you know, obviously up to interpretation. So, if you believe in the inaccessible stuff, cool. If you don't, totally understandable. So,
well, it sounds like Nobito also fucking has inaccessible speed. Let's continue. I'll have to finish the series before I decide anything about inaccessible speed, because I do think that a lot of it could be time hacks too, you know. But
it's possible. I've had my own like ideas about like the prison realm stuff.
Yeah. Why it could work without necessarily requiring inaccessible speed.
Yeah. But Clothespins has shown me like the other consistent stuff, and I'm just like, okay, that's I can see that. So he'd be able
once
to
I finish reading it, I'll need to talk to Clothespins about it.
Dude, yeah. He knows way more than I do.
Yeah.
Their arsenals such as Genjutsu, Tsukuyomi, Izanami, and Amaterasu. Well, starting with normal Genjutsu, Itachi transfers his own chakra into the target, thus disrupting their chakra, but because we have to do verse equalization, so cursed energy equals chakra, then Gojo's infinity should prevent him from getting chakra injected, unless we say that Itachi can just manipulate the already existing chakra within Gojo's body, so it wouldn't have to pass through his infinity because it's in Gojo's nervous system. Well, then I still think Gojo will be fine, as I'll explain the reason why when we get to the Tsukuyomi part. But yeah, for now, going back to why transferring the chakra to Gojo wouldn't work, it's the same as cursed energy attacks or cursed technique attacks, where they can't get through his infinity. Just in general, we've never seen Itachi's chakra pass through an infinite space. Onto his Tsukuyomi, Itachi traps the opponent in an illusionary torture-ish world. Enemies caught in Tsukuyomi experience days of psychological torture, where in reality only seconds in the world had passed by. However, Tsukuyomi also carries
see your mom getting like, I don't even want to get into this.
You probably could.
No, he definitely could. It'd be horrible, man. Like
someone quote Noodles. Like Tsukuyomi could probably make you see your mom.
I had to stop myself. It got too out of hand.
Yeah, we're on stream, buddy.
Just that thought alone is enough to be like, fuck this ability, man.
Severe backlashes when used even for an entire second. Of course, this doesn't apply to Edo Itachi at all, because he's not sick in Edo, so he wouldn't face any of the backlash compared to healthy or regular sick Itachi. But unfortunately, I don't think it would matter, because Gojo just has the perfect hacks to counter Tsukuyomi. Something that people forget when discussing Gojo and Itachi is Gojo's reverse curse technique. As we know in the hidden inventory arc, Gojo has learned to casually use reverse curse technique 24/7 to keep his mind and body actively refreshed and healed, in conjunction to using the limitless 24/7 as well. So this means that even if he is mentally damaged by Itachi's Tsukuyomi, Gojo's brain should just naturally heal itself right away. And
okay, so for one, I understand like it generates an infinite amount of energy or information inside of like Gojo's brain. Tsukuyomi is more potent than that.
Well, it's not necessarily putting infinite information in his brain. It's like refreshing his brain.
Mm,
So it's like
okay.
it's so like he could.
He still is able to comprehend infinite amounts of information. Is kind of what I'm arguing. You know what I mean? But
Well, he
yeah,
probably
like,
could. Yeah, he probably could. Like
well,
if
like in
he's
his domain, like he's like, this is everything, right? Like he's just like,
yeah.
you know,
He's speaking from experience when he's talking to
yeah,
Jogo, right? So like if
yeah,
he's able to like put it onto someone else, he probably is able to like go through it too.
yeah. But yeah, I also think the Tsukuyomi is just bigger than infinite. Like, just for an example,
Oh,
like
I
when
know.
he,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, go ahead.
when he used it on Kakashi and Yashiro in the novel, he just summons like infinite copies of himself in there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the copies of himself. What about the rest of the world? You know, and he has complete manipulation over that. Also, it's just able to work on beings that also just already have like even then like I'm not gonna get too much farther into it, but yeah, it also destroys your soul. It completely will erase your mind and shit. Like it's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's also just bigger than infinite anyway. So
But
I mean,
didn't we mention earlier that Tsukuyomi is like a chakra projection type of ocular
it
genjutsu?
is.
So like
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be kind of tough. Like if it did hit him, it might affect him. But you know.
Now there is an argument about this, and I'll show you this scan real quick.
Okay.
Because some people like to argue that that's not actually the case. That's not how genjutsu works, and I'll let you read this. Genjutsu, Jiraiya explains Genjutsu in part 1, basically. So
Gotcha.
Genjutsu, and like the explanation for Itachi Tsukuyomi only comes in like a novel. Like it's like a weird one-off novel, so people don't really like it, but people prefer the manga explanation. So I'll show you what it says.
Also, just a response to One Smart, he said Gojo's six eyes would have to recognize it as a threat for the Infinity to block it. He actually doesn't need to do that. Like it's an auto response, right? Like it's a passive ability, and it's like kind of siphoning through like everything that kind of can like get through or not get through, right? And it like auto detects whether or not something is a threat. But at the same time, like he can determine whether or not something can get through, and like even whether if it's a threat or not. Like someone like what was it? I think it was someone in the recent chapters, like Yuji was like trying to pat him on the back or something like that, and he was like, "Yo, Gojo, like I can't pat you, like, you know, your infinity's up, turn it down." And he was like, "Oh yeah, right," and he let him do it, right? So like it's not everything has to be like registered for Gojo, right, before something gets through.
Yeah. So this is what Jiraiya says about it. I'm gonna show you these. So read those panels and you tell me what you think. I'll read them actually if you want to put them on stream real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hold on. So the first one says, Genjutsu is something that works on your opponent's 5 senses to control the chakra flowing through and linking their cranial nerves. It is a jutsu requiring a high level of intellect. Okay, that's the first one. Move to the next statement. So it's saying it's controlling the chakra that is flowing through their cranial nerves, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be like the cursed energy in Gojo's body in this case. So go ahead and move to the next panel. Since some of your enemies will be Genjutsu users, you must exactly know how to deal with Genjutsu. If you're caught in the Genjutsu, you must try to stop your chakra flow. While in Genjutsu, the chakra in your head is controlled by your opponent. If you use more power to disrupt your chakra flow, you cancel the Genjutsu. So yeah, it's basically saying then someone must touch your body and placing their chakra into yours to disrupt the flow.
Well, if we're using verse equalization, Gojo is actually able to amplify his cursed energy, like a lot.
To disrupt his flow.
Yep.
What's what you're saying?
Yeah.
That would work, but this is Tsukuyomi.
Oh, okay.
Even
so you're saying it's a different thing.
even perfect Jinchuriki fall victim to it, and they have like a perfect connection with their person that could disrupt their chakra the easiest way possible, and it doesn't work.
Well, here's why I bring this example up though, is because Jogo and Hanami had a specific curse technique that was like a I forgot what it was called. It was something amplification or something like that. I think domain amplification, which was supposedly like it's supposed to negate his curse technique, right? It's supposed to negate his energy or curse energy, right? But then they tried it on him, and like he kind of faked them out and made them seem like it was working, but then he just increased his cursed energy again and like amplified it and said like, yeah, I just need to increase my cursed energy again, and your shit doesn't work anymore.
So he kind of like overpowered it just by increasing his cursed energy, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like not only did he have like a resistance to it, but like he like amplified it more to the point it just stopped working.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I still don't know if it could break out of like a genjutsu of this magnitude, but maybe, yeah, it's a pretty decent argument. Like you can say like he would be able to disrupt his flow. The argument is like, would he be able to overpower a genjutsu that can create like this massive type space, right? It's also controlling all five senses, which I know Jogo has extra senses, but this
right.
genjutsu also works on people with extra senses too. So it's like,
yeah,
I dig the argument, but
I think you might have to. I would probably ask Clothespins a little bit more on the information, but like, I think depending on how it works, is like, I agree with the potency of Tsukuyomi, and like that would be really tough to argue against because it works on characters who literally essentially have two personalities within them, right?
So they're like chakra flows are like linked and shit, and they like, there's no way that like no matter how much energy they give to them, like they just can't break out, right? Because like basically Killer Bee. So here's the argument. There's a statement that Killer Bee is the most perfect Jinchuriki.
Yeah.
That means he's an even better Jinchuriki than the other perfect Jinchuriki.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like levels, right? So level 1 is just someone's next to you, they put their chakra in you, and they disturb it, right? That's level 1 breaking out of Genjutsu.
Yeah.
Well, you could do the release technique too, technically. But so that's level 1. Level 2 is being a Jinchuriki, a perfect Jinchuriki, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a Jinchuriki inside you that can give you energy and break you out. Level 3 is B, because he's the most linked Jinchuriki. Okay?
Yeah.
And B is like, if you get hit by this, we're done. Right? That's what he says, basically.
Gotcha.
So it's like, it doesn't matter how much energy he really gives him. Now, if you argue like there's good, like a certain amount of energy, like if you quantify how much energy that domain amplification is giving him, maybe there's an argument to be had.
Well, it would be perpetual. Because the way his cursed energy works is that he's consistent. He doesn't have like a big supply of cursed energy, but he perpetually replenishes it. So he uses reverse cursed techniques to essentially like he uses such a minuscule amount of it, but like
it's an
when he does
amount.
Yeah, and he just continuously like replenishes it every time.
But it is replenishing. What I mean is like I understand that he can do it forever. It's like how much energy can he do at one specific moment though, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
like
that
I'm not sure. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to answer.
Also it's literally beyond an infinite 3D genjutsu. Like so it's very potent and hard. It's like you basically have to argue he would have some type of mind tax resistance that could resist something like that. I just don't know. No, Naruto's mind tax scaling is just very deep. It's a very deep pool. It's one of their better. Like there's 2 hacks in Naruto that are particularly potent, and it's sealing and mind tax. Those, and specifically mind tax. Mind tax is the greatest of all of them, but sealing's pretty good too.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think so. The argument I was making about the cranial nerve thing, like it's basically controlling the energy that's already in your body is kind of the way it words it, right?
I see.
Like so it's like, but then we have the novel statement where it says Tsukuyomi injects chakra into the brain. So maybe it's like it injects chakra into your brain, then it controls the nerves, right?
Yeah.
Maybe so, because then the chakra's already flowing in your nerves.
Yeah. If that's the case, right. If it's the latter, then Infinity would probably block it. If it's the former, there's potential for it being able to work, I think. So I think it's just depending on how you'd be able to argue it.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually do think Itachi does like legitimately inject chakra in the brain, because I don't have a problem with the novel, and I just gave an interpretation that's consistent with both the manga and novel.
Yeah.
So, I do think it does inject it. So I don't know if Tsukuyomi worked. There is a statement that the Mangekyo can see all things in the universe and shit like that. So I mean, you can argue like he would be able to see Gojo. Like, and that's not even how Gojo's ability works. Like his body isn't like it is an infinite distance away, but your perception of it isn't. You know? It's
Oh,
kinda
absolutely,
like,
yeah.
you know, like you can clearly see him. It's just would the chakra be able to cross that distance? And the answer is probably not. You know, it's kind of weird though. Like, there's another ability Itachi has. But I honestly think Itachi's best win con is probably his Amaterasu, like legitimately. But I don't know. I don't think that necessarily works either. But
Potentially, I mean, yeah. And who knows? Like, Homeboy might bring up a new thing we don't know, right?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, well, maybe not about Naruto. I mean, it's you,
Yeah.
right? Like you, but who knows?
Well, listen,
right?
I'm not going balls to the wall Itachi wanker right now because I got to save that for the Itachi video.
Oh, we know, bro. Yeah.
I'm not trying to spoil.
I will mention that I have about 20-ish minutes left. So
Let's go ahead and just wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Let's finish this video. Let's go.
Break out of the illusion. Thanks to his 6 eyes,
Put it on
Gojo could never run
1.25
out of
speed if
cursed
you want.
energy to perform such abilities because his ocular prowess makes it to where Gojo only uses 0.001% of its cursed energy. This is just unfortunate for Itachi because, like I said earlier, Gojo's hacks of the limitless reverse curse technique and his 6 eyes, it's the perfect combination of abilities to counter Tsukuyomi. I think we can also scale reverse curse technique similarly to Tsunade's creation rebirth. Stated in chapter 152, creation rebirth is the only known medical ninjutsu to be capable of healing the psychological damage caused by Tsukuyomi. So, to conclude, while Edo Itachi's Tsukuyomi can work against Gojo, his automatic reverse curse technique should just actively get him out of the illusion world. Now, what about Amaterasu? This is probably the easiest one to speculate, as we can even use examples from Naruto to determine why Amaterasu wouldn't be effective against Gojo. To briefly put it, Itachi can spawn these very hot black flames at the focal point to where he's looking. The flames are so dangerous that they're said to burn as hot as the sun itself. While in most situations, Amaterasu would be impossible to avoid, characters in the Narutoverse possessing techniques of extreme speed can evade or intercept the jutsu after it's been cast. An example is the Raikage dodging it via lightning release. We also saw Edo Nagato repel the jutsu. So even if you don't think Gojo is fast enough to dodge
Oh, that's interesting. Like, he might be able to use, like, red or something to repel it.
Yeah.
Amaterasu, or you think it would bypass infinity because Itachi just directly spawns the flames instead of making it travel, then yeah, Gojo should still be able to counter it by repelling the flames via reversal red, just like Nagato did in the war arc. Last but not least is Izanami. So instead of typical genjutsu where you trap your targets in an illusion, Itachi can recreate certain scenarios or arbitrary moments a few times over and over again. This activates Izanami, and the target is trapped in a loop of that scenario until they find their inner self and reform. Sounds kind of bullish if you ask me. I think a lot of people agree that Izanami was sort of an ass pull reveal, but nonetheless, it's a weird ability to scale because
I mean,
they literally had he had a whole explanation for where the fuck it came from.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense in the plot and everything. The only aspect of the plot I didn't like was just that there was like tons of Uchiha who could use Izanami, which didn't really make much sense to me. Because like that's a really powerful ability and it was rare when an Uchiha could have like a Mangekyo, you know? Like, so that was the only aspect of it I didn't really like. Besides that, like the explanation, everything they gave for it was fine. Like people like Izanagi was the thing that was like Madara survived with. He survived with that, right? Izanagi was used for Danzo. Like, they talked about Izanagi a lot throughout the series, and Izanami was just the counter to it, right? So it made total sense. And of course it would take a smart motherfucker like Itachi to know about it, right? So,
exactly. Yeah. And because it wasn't so known about too. I mean, you have to also consider the fact that there's like a handful of fucking Uchiha in the world, like at this point, right? Like, he's probably the only one besides fucking Obito that might know about it.
Yeah, so, like, why, it's not an ass pull, it just makes sense, like, I don't know. And also, like, Izanami's a good ability because if he can recreate 3 moments, right, he can make a fate loop, right? And I don't know if Gojo has any fate hacks resistance, but it basically seals your fate to, like, concede the battle, right? Like, you have to, like, concede the battle or just stay in it forever. basically, is how
But
it works.
doesn't it work? Like what was the way that what's his face? Kabuto
Its
got out of
application's
it?
kind of weird. How did who get out of it? Kabuto didn't get out of it. He lost.
Well, no, but
Um,
like later on, right?
He lost to it. Like that was Kabuto's end.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if he ever got out of it. Like I don't really know what happened to his body even. Like
I'm pretty sure he got out of it because, like, I think in the.
oh, I remember what happened. Orochimaru walked up to his body and absorbed his ass.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think there's a. Well, yeah, no, because Kabuto did get out of it because remember he was like teaching all the. He was like the teacher or instructor for all those like Shin clones, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What happened though?
Fucking.
Did he just accept his fate? Maybe.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
But like, if he accepts his fate, what does that even mean, right? Like,
all Itachi wanted him to do was be good. That's all. That was like his fate that he sealed them into.
So does
like,
he
was just
apply a fate onto the person?
Yeah, basically that way. Like he basically says lose. Like 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 you have to like. Now in the case of a versus battle, he would say like you just die. I guess I don't know how exactly he would do it, but like he accepted it. Yeah, the clothespin's in chat. Yeah, he accepted it. So yeah, he could just pick the fate that he has to seal. He seals them into. He like basically how Izanami works is they create a whole nother reality because Izanagi creates a whole nother reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Izanagi itself creates a whole nother reality, and they go over to that reality. That overlaps the original reality, and that's how they change fate. And Izanagi is basically just like closing those those other realities, preventing you, and it like picks a reality for you.
That's
basically
why it's a hard counter to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like your fate is now sealed. That's why I argue it beats Yuha's like Almighty a lot because like. If all like Yuha's whole ability is choosing other timelines and fates to jump into, but what happens if that shit
close them?
Yeah. What happens if that shit gets sealed, right? Like you're forced to choose a fate that Itachi chooses, right? Like he basically said concede, like like he would have to he would basically say to Gojo like concede or something like that, right? But I don't really know if there's like any like travel involved in that. Like he just has to recreate 3 moments, which wouldn't be hard if he was just talking to Gojo like Gojo talked to Jogo. Like
Right.
I mean, I don't know, like
It'd be an interesting idea, but
yeah.
I'm wondering if like because he kind of like it obviously it has physical like changes. It makes physical changes to the world like in that sense, but it kind of like sticks him in his own mind, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm wondering if like I wonder if this guy's probably gonna argue the same thing about like the brain refresher or whatever, if that's gonna be like a factor at all.
Yeah. Gojo inaccessible speed, blitz all of Naruto, boom, goat, done, beyond boundlessly negative difficult. Listen, man, all I'm saying is Hagoromo. He be dirty, bro. He's hacked, but yeah, he does blitz all of Naruto if he's inaccessible. I know you like the inaccessible arguments, and to be honest, like we said from the beginning of this video, if Gojo is inaccessible, he does just beat Itachi. Like it's basically impossible to argue.
Yeah.
Like what do you say? Like he doesn't just get vaporized by Hollow Purple or.
Like immediately,
he could just outlive him if he wanted to. Like he just run away, like oh, goodbye. Like
yeah,
you just wait for you to die. If it's Edo, it's different, right? Because he can live forever. But I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna
primarily only works against those who need counseling. Kabuto. I just don't think it's gonna be effective against Gojo since he's not wicked like Kabuto and doesn't need quote-unquote counseling. I mean, Gojo can get crazy and unhinged sometimes, but it's not the same inner identity stuff that Kabuto went through. So even if he was trapped, I'm sure Gojo could just break out of the loop within a moment. But if that sounds like a bullish answer, again, it's because Izanami itself is bullish. Though, not even that, Itachi is just not touching Gojo very easily, so recreating the same scenarios is almost impossible in the first place. But after going through all of Itachi's necessary arsenal, unfortunately, with verse equalization, Gojo wins this pretty easily, but without equalization, I'd say Itachi at least has a chance. That's because a lot of factors would change, like genjutsu and reverse curse technique, but this entire video was based on the premise that cursed energy equals chakra the whole time. So obviously, don't take this result to heart if you don't agree. Itachi just has no win conditions to defeat Gojo.
I think
Gojo's hollow
Izanami is a
purple
pretty
and
decent
domain
win condition,
expansion
just
are his
considering
2 win
Gojo has no
conditions.
fate
Although
hacks,
some of you
but,
guys might
you'd
argue
have to
a specific
recreate 3 moments, which is just the weird thing I'm trying to think of. Like, how would he do it? Like,
Yeah.
if he just like stares at Gojo the same way 3 times, like, does that count? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what the actual like prerequisites for the ability like work or how in depth they are.
he just has to create 3 identical moments. That's the way it's described.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. He won't be inaccessible for much longer anyway. Yeah, true.
But
you guys are thinking he's gonna get downgraded after this?
it's possible, dude. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I think the Izanami might be a little troubling for sure.
Well, it's directly stated that it decides fate, like literally. So it's like you can kind of just pick your fate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what were you saying though? Continue. Sorry, before I interrupted.
You're good. I was just like, I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out some possible counters. Like I know he mentioned like the brain refresher stuff, like from earlier, but like I don't know if that necessarily will work if it's something that's like crazy as like a fate hacks, you know.
Yeah, it straight is fate manipulation. Like you have to be able to defy fate in order to get out of the fate he decides for you, right? So it's like, isn't SBA strongest version? Yes. About to get another Mach 3 moment. That's why I argue Edo Itachi's the strongest SBA version, because he is.
Facts. No, that's he is.
Yeah, he is.
He's also resilient as fuck. You can't really. It's really hard to put him down.
All right, Kosu boy. I think you got to go here in a minute, so
Yeah,
you
I
want to
do.
go ahead and close out the stream. Good video, by the way. I think that one deserves a like. If you want to give it a
Absolutely.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. I think it's actually a really well put together video. But yeah. I think it's a really contentious topic that definitely needs a bit more research. But
It's interesting because they got a lot of similar abilities and unique abilities that would just work weird against each other and be interesting. Like, even talking about Hollow Purple, or like, is it just atomic destruction? Because Itachi can come back from that, but is it more? Is it spiritual destruction, right? Like that.
yeah.
You know, it's like, even that is just interesting to talk about, right? Like,
Yeah. So I definitely think that it's a super interesting topic. I think it should be talked on a bit more.
Yeah,
because
they
it's
both
just, like,
got
they're
magic
so...
eyes that can see energy and shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, no, it was a good stream. I appreciate a bunch of you guys. Make sure to I mean, if I'm pretty sure most of you follow Noodles anyways, but if you don't, subscribe to him. But yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Noodles, for hopping on and, you know, making the stream a bit more fun.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the stream? Was it better than, was it better than Surfbone?
I mean, look, man, you're setting the bar pretty low with that, right? Like, I'm just kidding, sir. We
Subscribe,
love
you bastards. Yeah, that's right. Listen to Clothespin. Subscribe to Kosu immediately.
I know most of you guys probably have already subscribed. Like, you're subscribed to Noodles. Like, y'all came from Noodles. But if you want to subscribe to me, that'd be pretty cool.
I subscribe to him.
Pretty dope.
He makes good content.
I'd be talking about
when he's
things.
not ripping off me.
Ripping off you, listen, motherfucker.
I just make Naruto content. I know you don't make Naruto content.
I have like one Naruto video, and it's like debunking outerversal shit. Like,
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it. So we'll talk to you boys in another time.
Yep.
See you all later.
Yep. And if you guys want to hang out in my server, I've got the thing. I don't know. I'm pointing some direction, but I've got it pinned on the chat, so feel free to grab it.
There was no way we had time for that other video.
No, fuck no, dude. All right. See you guys.
See ya.